So count 1, bisexuality, guilty. Wow, I need to like readjust to like sentient conscious thought after reading that. Holy playing hard to get with my allegations. Shut up. Shut up. I don't know. Okay, I need more elaboration. I need more elaboration. What is night rape, you guys? What is it? What does it mean? Would you goon in my cave, guys? Would you goon with me here in this cave? If we can't be nice to our parents, at least don't call your parents the N-word. I think the bar is pretty low, okay? Your Epstein altar and my Ghislaine Maxwell altar are dating in the headspace. Does everybody know who Turkish Thomas is, you guys? Everybody know? Everybody's familiar with Turkey Tom? Turkey Tom is the original Kiwi Farms tuber, okay? So, Kiwi Farms tubers are basically people that make all of their content off of lolcows. Usually, when people are using the term, like, Kiwi tubers, they're people that, like, rip all of their content off of the farms. Like, they pretty much just read the Kiwi Farms threads on people for a video, and that is their content. So they're called, like, Kiwi tubers. RHK Media is one of these people. Kiwi Tapes. Turkey Tom is, like, the biggest one, okay? The biggest one, all right? So this is Turkey Tom. He also has another account called Tom Dark, which is pretty big. He's got 1.61 million subs, okay? Let's check out some of our most popular videos, shall we? So the Chris Chan documentary. If you've ever watched a Chris Chan video, you've probably watched Turkey Tom's video. Andy Dick. Puppy Chan. Lots of stuff on Daniel Larson. Darkside Phil. Mama Max. Cyrax. More Daniel Larson. You can never run out of Daniel Larson shit. Fuck, I can never... Trainwrecks, Boogie. You know, like, your very, very typical lolcows, okay? And these videos are usually just people... Like, this is just Turkey, like, reading these people's Kiwi Farms page, basically, is basically what that is. And for some reason, my Beckett came back. Beckett yearns for stream time. So, I'm familiar with Turkey Tom because I have watched some of his videos. I have consumed Turkey Tom content before. I like his Bossman Jack video. I like his Chris Chan video. And I also am a pretty big fan of the Andy Ditch video. Andrew Ditch is one of my, I guess you could say, like, leisure cows. You know, I like to enjoy Andrew Ditch content when I'm not streaming. But Turkey Tom did a video on Poppy. If we remember, TBT guys, Poppy. Okay, now the thing that is criticized most often about Turkey Tom is that he gets things wrong sometimes in his videos, and that he's just, like, ripping, like, Kiwi Farms threads, right? Like, people on Kiwi Farms will find, like, somebody on the internet that's worth, like, laughing at, documenting, logging, whatever. And then they make, like, concise, summarized threads, and then everybody talks about the thread. So usually, like, the thread itself is made by somebody who's found all this information, and they compile it, like, neatly into, like, a page of reading with all the links and all the resources and all the evidence and stuff like that. And so what people that are, like, Kiwi tubers do is they find somebody, and then they just, like, use the basic general, like, description, like the main post that the person that wanted to make the thread found all the information for. They just read that in a YouTube video. So, obviously, I'm sure that you guys can imagine that if you cared enough to document every aspect of someone's life for a thread, you'd probably be pretty mad if somebody just, like, ripped all of your fucking work for a YouTube video, right? That'd probably rustle your jimmies a little bit. If you did, like, a lot of research into a topic, you gathered all the evidence, compiled it neatly in a neat little paragraph for people to read or whatever, then somebody just rips out your shit. I'm sure that would probably chap my ass as well. But Turkey Tom gets stuff wrong. I can't say, like, how often, because I've only seen a handful of Turkey Tom videos, but we watched the Poppy video together, and he got a decent amount of stuff wrong in the Poppy video. For example, Spawn he claims that Spawn was Poppy's biological child. Spawn was not Poppy's biological child. Like that, right? Like, we're just kind of, we're not really reporting on the facts the way that we should be, especially when somebody already did all of the legwork for you, okay? And a lot of people criticize it and say that it's, like, very lazy content because you're just, like, reading off, that already exists, basically. And I tend to agree. That's kind of my general read on it. But there are some Turkey Tom videos that I like. It makes it, like, accessible because it's, like, a video. There's a lot of different reasons that people like that kind of content. But either way, that is Turkish Thomas. So Turkey Tom is obviously somebody who covers a lot of degenerate lolcows, right? So think of what I'm thinking here, you guys. We're thinking about, like, Nova Online. We're thinking about Andrew Ditch. We're thinking about Christian. We're thinking about all these people. And a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot of, but some of the people that he covers are into, like, some kind of weird freak and are sexual degenerates. And that's something that Turkey Tom, like, complains about, or I shouldn't say complains about, but, like, that he covers a lot negatively, right? That these people are, like, sexually depraved. Like, Andrew Ditch, for example, is somebody who pretends that he has to wear diapers and then in his diapers because he wants other people to change and touch his diapers, or like that. Nova Online is another one of these people that has a weird thing for diapers. I don't pretend to understand, okay? But so of course, we're covering these individuals, right, that have somewhat of actually deranged behavior. And I would say, I think it was like a couple of days ago now. It looks like it was, like 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. One of Turkey Tom's exes made a Kiwi Farms account and started posting on Turkey Tom's thread saying that he was into some weird freak shit, and that he was allegedly very sexually aggressive with her, and that allegedly he was recording the girls that he was hooking up with without consent, and that allegedly he hit one of his girlfriends in the face and left a mark, and that he's into all kinds of weird, degenerate, pervy, like the people that he's covered. Now, DZ, my strongest soldier, is the one that went and got all these for me because I was trying to keep up with it, and I was having a very difficult time because it's a lot of, like, information. It's a lot of screenshots. It's a lot of posts. And the only thing that I had noticed, and I very briefly looked at this, the only thing that there were two things that kind of, like, pinged my, like, receptors, okay? The first one is that a lot of this is, like, narratives, right? Like, it's stories. And not to say that stories, like, can't be believed or whatever, but there's not as much of a robust cachet of evidence as I would like to see, like screenshots, recordings, images, stuff like that. A lot of it is just kind of like narratives, right? Like, when I was with him, he was like this, like that kind of shit. Which is funny and fine and all is well. But there seems to be, like, not a ton of actual, like, evidence, like screenshots, videos, things like that, right? So not a lot of documentation in the way that I would like to see, but that doesn't mean that it's not true, right? But we do take it with a grain of salt. We do take it with a grain of salt, of course. In the same way, that if somebody came to me and they said, hey, that Arby person that's in your chat, Arby actually killed 1,000 kittens. And I'm just like, this must be true. Obviously, you kind of want to see a little bit of corroboration. And something that has been an issue in the past for people that aren't aware is there are a lot of people that will try to use different corners of the internet to fight their battles for them. And they think that because a community is negative against a certain person, that by virtue of being negative about said person, that others will immediately believe them, right? So a lot of people, obviously, don't like Turkey Tom. He's a big content creator. Lots of people don't like him, don't like his coverage, don't like him for X, Y, and Z reason, right? There is, like, kind of a question of, like, okay, well, why are you going to, like, a gossip forum to spill all the beans? Like, did something go wrong? Like, why are you doing this, right? And then also, what can you show to demonstrate that, this is all true, that this is something that actually happened? So, obviously, a little bit of salt when we're looking at these allegations. The other thing that I read briefly, and I think it's in these screenshots as well, is another ex-girlfriend of Tom following the first ex-girlfriend of Tom, made another account and started sharing stuff as well. And this girl allegedly was involved in exposing a couple of other people online, which is kind of one of those things where it's like, well, if this is a reoccurring thing of you like trying to like get out and, you know, like expose people and that could be an incentive, right? But I haven't looked at all this stuff, so we're going to learn together, you guys. I have a general understanding of what the allegations are. So let's get our allegations out and we will decide if we are guilty on any of these counts. So count 1, we have dirty gooner. Okay, that's count 1 of what we're being charged with. Count 2 is being sexually aggressive and violent. Count 3 is being bad at sex. Count 4 is being like into a lolly slash spirit, like younger, like I guess you would say like spiritually pedo-coded, right? Like that very young girls, like the juvenile, like, you know, whatever the fuck. I've also heard allegations of age play, which we don't love. And what were the other ones? I think that's it for now. And then obviously there's the allegation, of course, that Turkey Tom gave Destiny sloppy toppy. I don't know if that will be confirmed or denied, so. Some are misdemeanors, some are felonies. We will see how we, oh yeah, and physically abusive. And these are all alleged, okay? So, these are all alleged. So we're going to look at some of our stuff. Okay, and see what we have here. Now, one of the things that is particularly interesting about this, if you know anything about Destiny was also accused of recording girls during hookups without their consent. So I'm going to put recording sexual encounters without consent as well. So that's something that people are kind of pinging as well, is that Destiny was accused of this. And then it kind of comes full circle and it comes around that Tom is alleged of similar crimes, right? And so if anybody was following the Destiny stuff, Not So Erudite was somebody that was like Destiny's right-hand woman, his Ghislaine Maxwell, if you will. And she went on Turkey Tom's stream to give like an interview when a lot of the Destiny stuff was going on, to give a statement. And then I found it was Kilo that posted this video. Kilo is so funny. Okay. Shout out to Kilo Tonics. Okay. This is funny. Are you guys ready for this?
Record the video, because to me, if he didn't even have consent to record the video, then this is a whole different ballgame. Like it's a whole different plan of action of like how I am going to process what's going on.
Right. But to your knowledge, you did have consent to record, just not to share it.
Just to me, like recording somebody and then without their knowledge and leaking it is like a full-on, like it's a pretty like sexually invasive crime. Leaking somebody's nudes, I think, is also really bad. To be clear, like, it is really bad. But the issue is that I think it's fundamentally just being more common.
So I thought that was pretty funny. But nonetheless, these are all alleged, of course, and I haven't looked at the totality of all of this. So we're going to go on a little journey together, you guys. We have our counts laid out for us. We have our allegations. A man's life hangs in the balance. This is the rape that may or may not save Aiden Underground. All right, let's check it out, chicken. So this is, we're just going to go in order of what we have. So I've seen some of these, but I haven't read the full thing. So this is the first one, okay? And this says, it's very small, forgive me. It says, "Hi, Kiwi people. I dated Tom for a few months after meeting him on Tinder. I'm not super into internet stuff." And then, you know what I want for this, you guys? I need a PNG. I need a PNG here. Hang on. I need a PNG. Oh, no. Just kidding. Who do we want? I want I want, there we go. That way, if anybody gets in trouble, it's Morale, not me, okay? So, let's go ahead and continue, okay? So, hi, Kiwi people. I dated Tom for a few months after meeting him on Tinder. I'm not super into internet stuff, and I had no idea what Kiwi Farms was, but this page was always his #1 searched Safari thing that pops up on his iPhone when he went to Google. When I asked him about this website, he got super defensive and weird about it, so I obviously looked into it and I found all of this crazy shit. Like him admitting to being bisexual, question mark? So he lied about being bisexual to his girlfriend. That's crazy. That's crazy. Listen, this is my favorite PNG. I'm a PNG tuber now, okay? If you guys haven't been fucking paying attention. But I also have this one. Where's my other one? Hello? I have this one too. But I like the Morale one. I think it's funny. If you guys want to make me a PNG or a little GIF or whatever so I can be a PNG tuber, we're joining the ACC. If we can't beat them, join them, okay? Just kidding. That was a joke. We are Morale Kirk. If Morale has no fans, I am dead, okay? So count 1, bisexuality. Guilty, all right? So this person says, or this girl, I'll just say this girl. Sorry to assume her gender, okay? My bad. So she messaged the owner of the website, Joshua Moon, to get the code to post here. Basically, I started to get suspicious about all the e-girls he's followed and interacted with, and he started raging at me. He also lied to me at first about the fact that he does YouTube. He did some crazy shit like kicked holes in the wall at his house that he was renting because some e-girl who copies Belle Delphine got hacked, and the, quote, hacker was blackmailing him with dick pics. He continued to talk to her after the fact. I have screenshots confirming all of this. Attached a couple, but I think I have more. This guy's a real freak and likes to record sexual encounters without asking first during almost every time. I know this for a fact. He has done this with at least one other girl. Serial, quote, gooner, and has flown out several e-girls to sleep with. He told me that he has a file on his computer called, quote, just in case, that basically voice memos or calls from his exes to blackmail them with in case they ever say something about him. I thought I would get the message out and confirm y'all's suspicion. Also, to get this out to warn other young women in the Texas area about this dude. And then there's allegedly a picture of her and him. Now, if anybody does not know, there have been a lot of people that have been the initial leakers of something on Kiwi Farms, and they are able to like corroborate their identity by messaging the owner of the website. And so later on in the thread, the owner of the website, Noel, said that this girl sent him like basically proof that she is who she says she is. So we can confirm that at the very least that this is girl 1. Okay, this is girl 1. The girl 1 is who she says she is. Okay, and then so these are the screenshots that she attached to this post. And so this is Tom, and then this is her. Question mark, everything good. And he says, IDK, I'll explain later. It has nothing to do with you. And she says, oh shit, scale of 1 to 10. How bad? Very. Oh, I'm sorry. An ex of mine got hacked, basically, and some stuff is probably going to be dropped online, photos. They emailed my family. She says, oh, bruh, it's okay. And he says, is it? And she says, I have no idea. This has never happened to me. Okay. And then this is the next screenshot. And it says, is she the one who looks like Belle Delphine? And he says, yeah. And she says, LOL. He says, that's the one. She says, yeah. And he says, do you think my, quote, type is Belle Delphine? And she says, no, like emo huzz of that nature. Tom says, I would just prefer, I guess he means prefer you dress normal, TBH. I don't want to be with them anymore. It's better this way. She says, yeah. He says, this shit does kind of make me want to hero a little bit, but it's fine. I must count my blessings. And she says, what does that mean? And he says, kill myself. Not really, but like, damn, this is stressful and gay. Okay. So that's just this girl confirming that Tom was, you know, bamboozled, tricked, deceived, etc. and had his images like basically stolen and then threatened to be leaked by this Belle Delphine cosplayer, which is awesome, dude. Awesome, dude. Okay. And then, so this is the next screenshot, and this is Sacramento. This is the first girl. This is girl number 1. Sacramento is girl number 1. And so somebody says, I am skeptical, though. Him being a literal mini Destiny is a bit on the nose. And she says, I promise all of this is real. I can post more screenshots, but I'm a little scared of him coming after me because I'm a normal person and his, quote, just in case file, LOL. And so the one thing that I will say, and we said the exact same thing when we were covering Saber Spark and Emu Emmy, where even if this girl is like, I'm doing everything I can to be secretive and cover my bases, the 2 screenshots that she attached of their text messages and then the picture of them together with her face obscured is enough for Tom to know who she is. So personally, like right off the bat, my first read is that I don't know, like I feel like if I wanted to expose somebody and I wanted to be completely anonymous, I would hand this. I think that you would have to do it in a way where you can't actually be completely anonymous, because even if you're anonymous to the public, which is what this may be, Tom is certainly going to know who she is, right? Like if you take a picture with somebody and they blur out their face and they post it online, you're like, oh, that's when I took that picture with like Jane or whatever the fuck, right? Like Tom at the very least is going to know who it is. So I think that's kind of silly, but we'll see if there's any more convincing statements in here. So this is the next one, and it says, I'm not alleging anything illegal or saying it was revenge porn or anything. What I meant was he wouldn't ask before and proceed to take his phone out mid-sexual activity and film sometimes. I sometimes wouldn't notice until like 15-30 seconds after he started filming. I have no idea if this is illegal or not, but yeah, he wouldn't ask before. Reach out to an ex-girlfriend of his. He would do the same thing to her. The blackmail he has on his computer is phone calls and texts, I believe. Most of them are from his ex-girlfriend named Kai. Here's a picture from when we matched on Tinder. Don't have the messages from where we matched anymore. And then this is an image of the screenshot of them matching on Tinder. So the only other thing that I will say is that somebody mentioned it on the thread. I don't remember who it was, but somebody had mentioned on the thread when she posted the picture of the match on Kiwi Farms, somebody asked, why would you take a screenshot of a match on Tinder if you didn't know that he was a YouTuber, right? So in the very first message, like, let me get this message back up. In the very first message, this one, she says, he also lied to me about the fact that he does YouTube. He did some crazy shit, like kicked holes in the walls he was renting or whatever. So this one where he lied to me about the fact that he did YouTube and that she said that she's not super into internet stuff was, right? So I could be reading like this wrong or whatever, but it sounds to me like she didn't really know that he was a YouTuber before they matched on Tinder. So why would you take a screenshot of a random match on Tinder? I don't know why you would still have that screenshot unless you thought Tricky Tom was particularly cute, which in my opinion, I don't think that would really meet that threshold. But nonetheless, that is one thing that I will call attention to. Okay, why would you take a screenshot of a random Tinder match? I think that's interesting, but nonetheless, we carry on. Okay. This one, this person asks, what is your main reason for posting in this thread? Why did you and Tom break up? Also, post more screenshots. And so she says, the main reason I'm posting to this thread is to warn people, mostly women, about this guy. The reason we broke up is actually because I mentioned this website to him, and I saw some crazy stuff about him online / his history with e-girls bothered me. Pick is about the Belle Delphine girl who was hacked. I'm suspicious of cheating because he did not block her after the fact that she was apparently still talking to him. Okay, and then this is the screenshot that was attached. And then shout out to, the people that are documenting this stuff. Thank you. Much appreciated for us technologically illiterate people who need all of this kind of neatly compiled for everybody, okay? I read that she recognized him but would admit to being Tom the YouTuber. Okay. I mean, I might be reading that wrong, but my initial read of that was like, she doesn't know a lot about internet stuff, and then so it's like, why would you take a picture of, a match on Tinder if you didn't know who it was? So fair point, fair play. I'm still kind of like, I don't know, making my judgment because I've only seen like these screenshots here. So I'm like, if there's more information, I'm more than happy to, expand and integrate or whatever. Right off the bat, like my initial read is like, first of all, I think it's like really fucking weird to record people when you're fucking and like not ask. I think that's weird. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just ask. Like if you're with somebody and you're hooking up and it's like, hey, like, can I take a video or whatever? I won't send it to anybody, but like just for me, like they can just say like yes or no. I guess the point of not asking would be like, it doesn't matter if they say yes or no. But I think that's kind of like weird antisocial, like weird behavior, right? Like you can just ask. Like usually, like typically, I don't want to speak for everybody, but like if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're dating, it's not like weird, right? Like it's not weird for you to be like, hey, like we're dating. Can you like send me a sexy pic or whatever? Like you're dating. Like it's not like a weird ask, right? I don't know why that would be like a weird thing. You know what I mean? So this is Tom again, and this is her. She says, what really pissed me off is I spent a week painting their poker table, and they're outside using it as a beer die table. And then Tom says, it is cool. And then she says, is it like nudes or something? And then he's responding to this, and she says, like, I just have to remember a decently pretty girl head on my shoulders. I have more life to live. And then she says to Tom, you can press charges. And then Tom is responding to this and saying, you have a lot more to live for. I think that's what he's responding to. And then he says, if I could figure out who he is, yeah, it's like 7 pictures of me with my dick out. So this is just your friendly reminder to never send nudes, you guys. Never send nudes. Never send nudes. No, I mean, I just don't get why you wouldn't, like, ask. Like, I think if it's, like, kind of I wouldn't even say, like, it's an expectation or whatever, but it's not, like, a weird ask. Like, if you're dating somebody or, you know, and to my understanding, they dated for several months. If you're in a relationship with somebody, it's like, oh, like, you know, can you send me, like, a sexy picture? Or, like, oh, can I take, like, a video or whatever? That's not, like, a terrible question. It's not like, you want me to what? You want me to send you a picture of, huh? You know what I mean? It's not like it's a crazy ask. You're not asking for anything, like, insane. I just don't understand why that's, like, a huge ask. I don't know what the issue is with asking. I don't know. I guess that's the thrill. Okay. And then to the next one, this person says, very interesting. Did he happen to say anything notable to you after he did that? Anything about the reputation of the forum? Were you specifically the one to break things off, or was it Tom? And then they also ask, also, were you aware of Tom's internet presence before you started dating him, or did you find out later? Oh, this answers my question perfectly. Oh, thank you so much, kosherfarms.net for reading my mind. Thank you very much. Okay. So, and then this girl says, like I said, he lied to me about who he was, but I figured out pretty quickly, like on our first date. He said it was, quote, weird for a girl he's dating to look up at a gossip website. Told me before I should never look him up online, lol. The breakup was kind of mutual, but I also sort of crashed out on him about his past with the e-girls and the dick pic thing, so I understand it. He could probably use my mini crash out during and right after our breakup against me, but everything I said was truthful. I mean, I don't really know how to read that. Like I said, he lied to me about who he was, but I figured out, oh, okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, maybe she saw him on Tinder and was like, oh my god, this looks like Turkey Tom, and then like took a screenshot because she's like, oh my god, I think this is Turkey. Okay, I understand. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Okay, noted. All right. And then the next one here is, do you have any evidence that he flew e-girls out to sleep with? Did he tell you this, or did you discover this somehow? Was it during your relationship? And she says, told me this. It was before our relationship, to my knowledge, and not during. He was hella careful about texting stuff, but I reached out to one of his exes I knew he was with. She's like an e-girl type, and she confirmed. She has more evidence than I do. Sent me pictures of her face after being bruised after going to meet up with him. And then this is the image attached here. Oops. If I can open it. Yes, Cloud was right. Okay, everybody. Wow, what do you want? Like a gold fucking medal? Hang on. Jesus Christ. Gold medal for Cloud. Everybody witness. Oh. Fucking paparazzi, bro. Ridiculous. Okay. So the next one that we have is this one, and this is the screenshot. You can see the image here. So this is, again, the Sacramento person. I'm denying the old allegations because I'm in my early 20s. And then this person asks, Sacramento89 in the username, are you 37 dating Turkey Tom? And then she says, I've been in contact with the ex-Tom. Excuse me. I've been in contact with the ex since Tom and I broke up. And yes, she's aware that I'm posting here and is actively trying to make an account and post here as well. Gave my permission to post these screenshots. Her IG is Clorox Katie. Insane username. After leaving his house and flying back home, had a big bruise. So the picture, I think there's better images of the picture in here that DZ sent that we might, yep, we'll see those in a little bit, okay? So you can, obviously, it's very small, but you can see there's like a bruise here, okay? Or it looks like some kind of mark right here. Some kind of mark, and we have a date. And then it's a screenshot of her sending this to someone. So at the very least, there's some kind of physical evidence, like she does have a mark, but obviously this could have been some random girl that like biffed it on an e-scooter. We don't know. Okay, so we're going to keep reading and we're going to learn more. Okay. So this is the next one that we have here. And then this one says, DMs, she gave me permission to post proof that he flew e-girls out. So this is from Turkey Tom. I hope you have a good flight. I'll tell everyone on the plane that I said hi. They'll know me. And then she says, that's so true. And they will clap and cheer when they hear your name. Taking off, and he says, I'm so excited, 9 hours. She says, I know, so excited, send a picture. And then Tom says, got kicked out of FurryCon. She says, that was... And then Tom said, security wanted to fight. She says, so fast. And then he says, nice leggings. She says, thank you. He says, yeah, they were insane. She says, did they already know you, or did they just immediately get mad when you said something crazy? LOL. He says, they told me that I need 7 vaccines to be in there, and I said, okay, I'll leave, and then didn't, and no, they didn't. And then she says, bruh, that's so beep, and then she said 7, and then Tom says, gotcha. Yeah, best to just not say anything, let them speculate on what the truth may be. And then she says, my lips are sealed, smile face. And he says, it's less about me getting shit, I just don't want to end up on Kiwi Farms pages. She says, LOL, I don't think I will, not like, that's not like, thus type of people. Having a stroke. It's just locals talking shit to each other, so I'm not worried about that, since they don't even know how forms work. LOL, I'm sorry they DM'd you, that's so odd. So, okay. Okay, so this is him flying that girl out. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. Oh, DZ added an editor's note. These are pretty boring and probably not worth showing. Okay, so instead of saving every single one of these, let's see what these are. Okay, so these are the same images. They're just bigger, and then, yeah, these are just the images of somebody. These are all the exact same image, but like 7 times goal based. Okay, awesome. Okay, so moving on. We have confirmed that there was at least one e-girl that was flown out to Frick. That has been confirmed, okay. So next we have, has he ever dated any of those age play girls? I saw him follow a couple a while ago. And Sacramento says, the girl he sent dick pics to and got hacked was an age play Belle Delphine type girl. I sent screenshots about the blackmailer guy here earlier. He told me they went to meet up with her, but was too weirded out and went back home. Her account has been posted in this thread before. I believe it's Creepy Hoarder. So if anybody doesn't know who Belle Delphine is, that's the OnlyFans girl whose like whole thing is dressing up like a child. So we hate that. So we fucking hate that, okay? So at the very least, we have, I guess I need to add more to this. We need to flies out e-girls for sexy times. On count 8, we are guilty. Okay, on count 8, we are guilty. We are flying out e-thoughts for sexy times. That has been confirmed. We are guilty of count 8, okay? And then, so this is Null. This is the owner basically saying that Sacramento sent me 2 pictures of herself, confirming, you know, her identity, where it's like the catfish trick where it's like, take a picture of you in a blue shirt and a sticky note that says today's date or whatever, or a phrase that I'm saying, like, you know, a sticky note that says purple apple. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just to confirm the identity. So that's what that is. Okay. Next one, Sacramento says, or excuse me, Lena asks, Sacramento, were you aware of who he was before you started dating? Seeing as you posted a screenshot of your... Oh, you guys, this is the same question that I had. This is so crazy. Wow. Mind melting. That's so brave. We are Lena. Okay. Were you aware of who he was before you started dating? Seeing as you screenshotted your Tinder match, like, what did his bio say about what he did for a living? Excuse me. Did he ever physically abuse you? You said he was a gooner. He was a freak with specific kinks. He wanted to live out with you. Did he have any real life friends he hung out with that knew about this behavior? And then Sacramento says, didn't connect the dots about who he was until after. His bio was blank, but might have said videographer. His Tinder profile was mostly just pictures of him flexing, usually his phone covering his face. I don't want to get into anything illegal, but during sex, he was very rough and would choke me and hit me in the face. I don't think he knew IRL, or I don't think anyone he knew IRL knew about this. So, okay, so we have a little bit of BDSM allegations at the very least. Potentially non-consensual BDSM allegations, potentially. Okay. And then, you guys, I don't want to save every single one of these screenshots, okay? I don't want to do it. So, I'm going to show you the ones that are juicy. I'm going to show you the juicy ones, okay? But I'm just going to read these because I don't want to show, like, every single fucking screenshot, okay? So, Kosher asks, is that where the bruise on the other girl came from? And Sacramento says, yes, he could hit pretty hard. This person says, sorry to hear what happened to you. Sounds like typical porn addict gooner behavior, though. Does he have a porn addiction / was he into harder stuff? And if yes, when did you find out about it? And Sacramento says, he told me he was a porn addict in the past. Okay, this is totally guilty. I don't even need to read more. Count 1, guilty. We are a dirty gooner. So she goes on to say, I believe he replaced his porn addiction with filming other women during sex because he was unable to ejaculate most of the time during sex, but only through watching the videos he would take. Oh. Okay. Wow, I need to like readjust to like sentient conscious thought after reading that. Holy fuck. As soon as I confronted him about what I had seen about him online, he wasn't able to maintain an erection, and I think sex was just a huge ego thing for him. Obviously, speculation, right? Like, there's no, like, there's no video evidence or whatever the fuck, but, like, what do you mean you can't nut unless you're watching, like, is that not, like, the most offensive thing ever? Is like, sorry, babe, I can't nut. Let me watch these videos of me fucking other girls to nut. Is that not, like, the craziest shit you ever heard in your entire life? Like, you are a porn addict, like, total degen gooner if you cannot nut without, like, porn. Yeah, 100%. Like, sorry, my girlfriend, my love of my, this time in my life or whatever, I can't nut unless we put on Backdoor Sluts 9 that I filmed on my own phone. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Count 1, we are 100% guilty. We are totally dirty gooner degenerate. Okay, totally guilty on count 1. And I'm also going to say guilty on count 3 as well. Okay, if you have to pull out your phone to watch you fucking another girl to nut, ooh, we're not doing well. We're only like a third of the way through this, and we're already guilty on count 1, 3, and 8. 1, 3, and 8, we are guilty. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. After that, it's going to be hard to top. And then, so, Sacramento is saying in this screenshot that they dated for 7 months, like 7 months, and that she met his family. Okay, and then, so this is the Belle, these are pictures of the Belle Delphine girl. This is the girl who was blackmailing Tom, apparently. So the Belle Delphine types are this. This is like the IRL, like, lolly gooner shit. That's what this is. It's like e-thoughts that dress up like little girls. Like, we have, like, you know, the little kid shoes. We've got, like, the, like, all of the, this is like pedo bait. This is like pedo bait content creation, right? That's what this is. And then there's this one as well, just confirming that this is the same person. And then we've got some trans fishing as well with the little IKEA shark. That's trans culture right there. So we've got some of that. Like, this is, yeah, this is like total pedo bait content. This is total pedo bait content. So these are the quote unquote Belle Delphine e-girls that he's into. These are the Belle Delphine archetypes, I suppose. Okay, which is insane. Okay, so then we've got a few more screenshots here that I will read to you. So this person asks if she can provide proof of the abuse allegations and the allegations of sexual impropriety. And she says it's hard because he was very careful about what he said over text. And again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke and he was a super gooner. Sort of normalize it in my head, but definitely not okay to do all of that. All the proof in the videos he had, refused to send me or ignore the question when I asked. Katie told me that the picture of the bruise was due to injuries from sex, which I believe because he would slap both of us. And then she is saying sorry because I assume that she doesn't have these videos or, like, you know, pictures of this or whatever. She doesn't have, you know, access to these videos that he was recording. And then somebody else asked, did you live together at all? 7 months is a long time to stay. Were there any red flags? Did he ever speak about wanting a family? And then she says, no, we didn't. We would only see each other like once a week. He was usually pretty nice, but sometimes he would say stuff that made me question his intentions, would buy me a lot of stuff, take me to nice places, said he wanted to marry me and start a family, but as soon as I started getting sus, it's like a switch flipped. Then she goes on to say, another thing I wanted to confirm, that Kai cheated on him with Liam is 100% real, and Tom moved in with her after the fact. That girl really fucked him up and would still seethe about it during our relationship. So Kai, in my understanding, I don't know if there's any other Tom historians in here. Kai is the one that cheated on Turkey Tom with Liam Donovan lyrics. So the allegation is that there's some psychosexual, like, attachment to this person and that it has, like, totally fucking ruined his brain, I suppose. Let's see if any of these. Okay, so this is Lana Twin asking, did he ever try to impose his ex's style on you, like buying clothes that she would wear or ask you to change how you wear your makeup? You mentioned something about being surprised about him being bi. Do you know if any of the e-girls he ever flew out were not actually girls? Okay, we're adding Chaser. Okay. This is already suspected with the IKEA shark. This is already suspected. And then she says, no, he would actually tell me that he liked that I look, quote, normal, and he was done with BPD types. I think one of the screenshots of our messages had him saying something like that. I have no idea about the gender of the e-girls. I'm pretty sure they were all women to my knowledge. Another thing to add is that during one of our first dates, he told me that I looked like I was around 15 and told Katie the same thing. So we're getting pretty close on count 4, you guys. We're getting pretty close on count 4. Obviously, if the kind of girl that we're e-sexting with that is posting like pedo bait stuff, like the lolly e-gooner kind of shit, we're getting pretty close to this, of course. And then I think that like making statements that you think that your ex like looks like, that your girlfriend looks like she's like 15, I think that we're getting dangerously close. We're on the cusp, guys. We're very, 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 very close. Okay, very close. Yeah, kind of crazy. And then this person is asking if Tom ever gossiped about YouTube friends. And then she says, not really, but he told me that a lot of YouTube people are fake. He was on Discord like 24/7. And then this person asks in relation to the 15-year-old comment specifically, what was the context? Did he mean it in like a, ooh, baby, you looking 15 years old and Tommy likey? Which is approximately how cringe I imagine he talks. Or is he like, haha, you look 15, psh, like kind of a joke? Just kind of trying to understand the context, right? And then she says, context was that I told him he looked older than his age. In response, he said that I looked 15 to 16 because, quote, it's hard to tell, end quote, at the ages of 15 to 23. I think that's, I don't know, maybe because I'm geriatric. I think that 15-year-olds look like newborn babies to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all things change and we change with them, right? Like, when you were in, like, first grade, people that were, like, 16 or 17, they were, like, giants. They were, like, full-grown geriatric adults. And then when you were in high school, somebody that was like 20 was like geriatric and like just so fucking old and grody and ew and gross, you know? And then the reverse starts happening, right? Where you turn like 21 and you're like, oh my God, 15-year-olds are literally newborn babies. And then, you know, you turn like, I don't know, like 25 and you're like, holy shit, somebody who's like 18, 19 is actually like a newborn fucking baby. Holy shit, right? Like, I feel, and maybe this is just me because I'm old as fuck, I'm geriatric, I'm about to get that senior citizen discount, well, let's go. Like, people who are that young, like people that are still in high school, they look like so young. Like, they look so incredibly young. I mean, I guess you could say that there are some exceptions to the rule, right? Like maybe there's somebody who's like 16, 17 years old that's like really developed and it would be like maybe difficult to tell, but like generally speaking is like a blanket prescription. I think that when you're over the age of 25, I think that people that are that young, that are like what, sophomores in high school, I think they look really fucking young. I think that a sophomore in high school looks very, very young. I remember when I was in high school, we had like some teaching students, like students that were in their master's degree or their master's programs to get their teaching degree or whatever. Like they came and shadowed a couple of classes because they're like learning how to become teachers, right? And so these people were in their master's program. They were what, like 22 maybe? And I remember being like 16 years old and looking at these 22-year-olds and being like, these people are the fucking crypt keeper. Like this is my grandfather. Like who invited like the fucking ghost of Christmas Past into the classroom, right? And maybe that's just, I don't know. I guess maybe there are people that are like, you know, like 20, 25 that have like baby faces. I guess that's a possibility. Or even, you know, with very young people, maybe they like look older than they actually are, sure. But like generally speaking, I don't know, dude. I think that's like a wild age gap. Like a wild age gap. Like I think that people that are sophomores in high school quite literally look like newborn babies. That's, I guess, whatever. Okay, so, all right. Okay, crazy. Okay. Okay, I do have to save this one because it's tiny. You guys get a treat because I have to zoom in on this. You guys. Okay. So this might be too personal, but text about being hurt and bleeding after sex. I don't have much evidence since he was so careful and told me all this was normal. And then so she says, like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day. Cry emoji, or do it so hard that I hurt and bleed. And then he says, well, if you don't want to have as much sex, we don't got to. We can do other things. And she says, okay, I like to do other things too. So, oh, there's a ha 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 ha. There's a screenshot of the actual message, like right here, guys. I didn't need to do that. Look. I'm so silly. Look, here's a regular sized one. Here's a regular sized one. I'm so silly. Anyway, fun fact, guys. You shouldn't be fucking bleeding when you're fucking, okay? Even if you're fucking, like, multiple times in a row, you shouldn't be fucking bleeding. Like, that's a problem. That's a problem, right? Like, you should be able to have sex multiple times, even in one day, even in one sitting, or whatever the fuck, okay? And not bleed. Like, that's an indication that we're doing something wrong, okay? That we're doing something wrong, okay? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So we're mega guilty at count 3. Okay, like, mega guilty. Mega guilty of count 3. That's insane. That's actually crazy. And then, so Sacramento goes on to say, I have no health issue that I know of. Never bled during sex before. It was the aggression. Just gave into it after a while and told him I liked it, but I bled almost every single time. And then somebody asked if there was any sort of aftercare. And then she said, would just go on his phone or Discord after literally choking, hitting, and making me bleed. Had to teach him to be nice after. This was an issue in the beginning. I believe that the bleeding was caused because he would basically just bend me over and choke me and stick his dick into me. Katie had the same story, excuse me. Reaching out to me has been helpful in understanding how bad this all really was, because I'd only had told my roommate after one time that he was pretty rough. Like, yeah, dude, this is, like, mega fucked. This is, like, mega fucked. It just sounds like he just wanted to bust a nut, right? Like, there was no, like, don't mean to get, like, TMI, okay? But, like, if you don't have a medical condition, you should be, like, self-lubricating, and that, like, prevents, like, wear and tear. Like, excuse my crude euphemism in there, right? But, like, the reason that there would be, like, tearing or bleeding is, like, if there's not proper lubrication, right? Or if you're being, like, hella fucking aggressive. Those are the two things that would, like, cause that, right? It sounds like he's hella fucking aggressive and that, like, she's just not that into it. And it's crazy. It's, like, that's just, like, fucking nasty, dude. That's fucking nasty. That's, like, not cool. Like, making girls bleed is not cool. That's, like, it doesn't mean that you're good at sex because you fuck a girl until she bleeds. So, I'm going to say sexually aggressive and violent. I'm going to say guilty on this count. Well, I don't know. We only have one. No, I'm going to say guilty. Because he did text her about, like, bleeding, and he was like, sorry, or whatever. So there's confirmation that he was fucking her until she bled, which is fucking insane, dude. That's bad. I feel bad for her. And I also, the other thing that I think is actually, wow. Time for me to get onto my soapbox. Okay. I think that this is one of the issues. This is, like, why people have this negative perception of pornography. Particularly, like, violent pornography, BDSM, and then, like, people being exposed to porn at really young ages. It's because, one, it kind of, like, sets the stage for people being into this stuff, right? Like, if you're consuming this kind of porn, you're like, oh, well, I think that I like this. I guess I do like it. I'm consuming all this porn, right? And then the expectation is that women are going to be into this. And that's not always the case, right? Like, that's one of the big criticisms of, like, what is called porn sickness, right? Is that there is the expectation for women to, like, be okay with, like, being slapped, being choked, being hit, like, bleeding, like, that kind of shit. That's something that they're supposed to be into because guys are into it, and vice versa, guys are like, girls are into this because guys are, it's like a weird, like, feedback loop. And I think that's, like, this is just, like, true porn sick behavior, where it's like, he can't nut, allegedly, without watching videos of other girls fucking, which is crazy, crazy work. And then he has to be, like, so sexually aggressive and violent. And then this girl, it just sounds like she was like, oh, I thought that was just, like, he was into it, so I would be okay with it. Which is crazy. Like, if you're not into something, like, there's nothing wrong with, like, you know, trying something or doing something that you don't, like, super love because your partner really likes it, as long as it's not, like, at a huge risk or, like, a huge ask of you, right? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, a not, like, grody comparison, okay? I'm trying to think of, like, not a grody comparison, but, like, trying to think here. Oh, so, like, for example, I always want my back scratched, okay? It doesn't matter what time of day it is. I'm like, I need my back scratched like right fucking now, okay? I'm sure that my wife does not want to sit there and scratch my back like all the fucking time. But she's like, okay, I don't want to scratch your back, but I'll scratch your back because you asked. Like, that's reasonable, right? Or like, hey, can we like try this new thing? Can we try like a sexy professor roleplay? Or like, hey, can we get dinner at McDonald's? And it's like, you don't really want McDonald's, but it's like, you really want McDonald's, so I'll have McDonald's for dinner, right? Like small things like that. And even sexually, there are like reasonable compromises that I think are fair. Like, I don't think that... Is DZ here? Can I say this? Is DZ in here? DZ, are you in here? Please say no. I don't think that anybody, like, super loves, like, every aspect of, like, sex, right? Like, I'm trying to think, like, is, like, if there's a girl who doesn't really like sucking dick, right? She's like, I don't really like it. It's not my favorite thing to do. You know, it doesn't really do anything for me. But it's like, I'll do it because you like it. I think that's fine. It's not like you're forcing somebody to do something that they don't want to do. It's not something that they particularly want to do. But they're like, no, I am okay doing this because I know that you like it or you want it. I think that's completely fine. But when people feel like they have to do something that they don't want to do, I think that that's when it's like kind of bad. And especially when it comes at like harm to the other person, right? Like, getting hit, getting choked, getting slapped, getting fucked raw, like getting fucked like unlubed apparently. Like all of that shit, it's like that is like a huge ask of somebody else. And there isn't even like an ask, right? Like I guess you could say it's one thing if it's like, hey, I'm super into like hitting women. And it's like, okay, I guess you can hit me. Like I don't really get anything out of it, but you want me to do it. I guess I'll let you hit me like once or twice, fine. But like this is like worlds apart, right? Where it's like he's doing it and expecting that she's going to be into it, and she feels like she has to do it because he's into it. And that's sad. I think that's really fucking sad. That is something that makes my heart hurt, is like when women are like, what do you mean? What do you mean I don't have to get like fucking karate chopped in the throat by my boyfriend? What do you mean I don't have to do that? That makes my heart sad. I am sad for this girl. This makes my heart sad. If this is true, alleged, right? Alleged times infinity. Which is, it just makes me sad, guys. Makes me sad. Okay. So, now a new girl enters the ring. This is girl 2, Left 4 Dead. This is girl 2. And girl 2, if we remember, is the one that, that had the bruise, right? That shared the image of the bruise on the face. And so a lot of these I'm going to read a lot of these to you guys just because some of these have no words in them and I don't want to get in trouble, obviously. So, and I'm a good noodle. I'm very well behaved, very mindful, very demure. Okay. So this is Left 4 Dead. This is girl number 2. Girl number 2 that was allegedly physically assaulted or struck in the face. I don't even know if I would say physically assaulted, but like she was hit in the face. Okay. I don't know if it was when they were banging, or I guess you would still say that's like domestic abuse or whatever. Okay. Anyway, this is the one that got hit in the face, allegedly. Okay. So she says, she also said, I finally made an account. Yes, Tom is extremely harsh during sex. I have been down the kink roads in my life, and how he acts is actually just evil and almost sadistic. Not even kinked up, just Patrick Bateman type gooner. Fist a girl already this girl is really bad at spelling, so please forgive me. This is like my 9/11. This is my dyslexia's 9/11. This is supposed to say first, but it spelled fist, so I'm so sorry. First girl already posted some of my screenshots, but if anyone has questions or wants specifics or specific proof, I'll try to see what I can answer. And then she says, he also said it was how, quote, awesome I looked like a little girl, end quote, the first time that we had sex. Told me that he was excited to learn that I had BPD because girls with it, quote, love harder. LEL, so R-worded. So that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't think that it's awesome that your partners look like children. I think that's crazy. I think that we're pinging this guy. I think I'm gonna say, because we have two people, right? We're guilty on count 4 now. I'm determining guilt on count 4. That's me personally. Determining guilt on count 4. That is me personally. Okay. That's just where I'm at with all of that. The other thing that I think is really annoying, and I think this is just like a woman thing. time to go misogyny coded, okay? Something that women do is like, I don't know, but you can ask me about it if you want to. It's like, girl, just tell me. He was kind of mean, but I don't know. Sometimes he was nice, but if you have questions, I'll answer them. It's like, girl, just post everything that you have, okay? Post everything you have. We're not doing cat and mouse. Just, like, post all your shit, okay? Like, I don't know, I guess you could, like, send me an email about it. No, Rebecca, post the whole fucking thing. Post all your evidence. Log dump, okay? Nobody wants to play 20 questions to unlock the answers. Like, you have the information. Just fucking drop it, Rebecca. Come on. Drop it like it's hot. Let's go. Nobody has time to do this all day. No, my soundboard.
Drop it.
There we go. Wow. Killed the bit. Too late. Day late in a dollar shirt.
Drop it.
Okay. Now that I totally killed the vibe. Alright. So, this is Left 4 Dead again. Girl 2. Playing hard to get with my rape allegations. Shut up. Shut up. Okay. So, Left 4 Dead says, he also said, okay, so I already read this one, sorry. This is the BPD one. My bad, sorry. Sacramento then says, I told him, oh, excuse me. This person asks, has Tom attempted to reach out with you since you registered and first posted? And Sacramento says, I told him I was considering reaching out to law enforcement / telling people about everything that went down, and then I blocked him after listing out every single thing he did wrong, because I know that he will send my text to his lawyer. Somebody then asked Left 4 Dead, girl number 2, preferably you should drop everything you have on him. And then she says, I gotta upload everything from my phone to my PC. I got a crazy audio of him saying that he wants to night rape me, which for sure think he was saying that as like a negative riz, but actually insane to use that riz. God, I wish this girl could spell. It would make my life so much easier. Okay, so shout out to the Saltening for reading my mind. Psychically, yeah, we should just drop everything. Let's not play hard to get with the rape allegations. And then also, night rape. Is that not the preferred time? Like, why did he have to specify the time of night? Like, can I get some elaboration? Look, no, like night, like time of day. Like, nighttime rape. He wanted to night rape me. Is that better or worse than day rape? What about afternoon? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, dude? What do you mean right now? What do you mean right now, dude? What the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like, what do you guys think? Do you think that day rape, afternoon rape, or night rape is worse? Because I don't know if I understand this, and I hope that this is elaborated on because I don't fully understand it. Does he mean like, is he talking about like fuck her in her sleep kind of thing? Or does he mean like, I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, I'm assuming that he means like fucking in the sleep. You know, like, oh no, I'm sleeping in like, you know the song 5 o'clock in the morning, okay, by T-Pain. I'm imagining it's like that, like, oh no, I'm so vulnerable and asleep. Oh no, ooh. But like, that's only cool if like you're both into it, right? I don't know. Okay, I need more elaboration. What is night rape, you guys? What is it? What does it mean? Do you think this is on Urban Dictionary? Please be on Urban Dictionary. I'm so scared to look this up. I'm gonna get put on a fucking watch list. Night rape Urban Dictionary. Let's see what Urban Dictionary has to say, guys. I'm scared. Nosebleed seats. Maybe he meant like night like in armor. Okay. Urban Dictionary says, when you wake up with less clothes on than you went to bed with and certain aches and pains. What? The best of night rapers often leave their victims in an unknowing what is happening? What? I don't know about her, man. There's rumors of her being a giver of the night rape. I'm done. I'm logging off. I have to go and smoke a cigarette. We're taking a quick break. I have been night raped. What the fuck is happening right now? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Maybe we'll get more clarification. I don't know, but we're taking a break. I have to take a break. I need to smoke a cigarette. I need an emotional support cigarette. I need to take a break really quick. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. So we just left off on night rape. That's where we were. Okay. And then I need my My water. I need a crisp cold one with the boys. Crisp cold one with the boys. Okie dokie. So, Left 4 Dead, girl number 2, goes on. Somebody asked what made you turn on him. Obviously, he's done some shit, but what moment made you decide to say, fuck this? And so girl number 2 says, I just truly thought he was a cringe F-slur who def was going to beat me later if I stayed around. We only had a 2-month fling because even my insane ass was scared of how he acted. He also was just doing stupid, I hated conversations with him. Oh, that was me. That was me being stupid, sorry. How he acted, and he was also just stupid, I hated conversations with him, excuse me. And then somebody else asked, what specifically did he do, and what proof do you have? And she says, he was just extremely weird to me, and also evil as fuck during sex. So we read this one. This was about... Oh no, this wasn't the night rape one, sorry. Again, I only had a small fling with him, and I would have to fly out to see him, so luckily I didn't witness a lot, but enough to tell you that the guys... To tell you guys, and also help add validity to her statement. Also, I have random audio recordings in every DM and text. Like, girl, just dump them. And then this is confirmation that she paid for her own flights. Oh, no, sorry. He paid for her flight, sorry. So this person says he wasn't paying for your flights, question mark. And she says, no, he was, lol. So he paid to fly her out. And then this person asks, is there anything particularly interesting or damning that you'd like to share? And she said, I'm turning on my old phone now to grab the videos. I'll post whatever I think is even semi-relevant. So, and then this person asked, how did you guys meet? Did he initiate contact or vice versa? She says, I had already followed him because I watched YouTube. Then when him and Kai broke up, he immediately DM'd me on Instagram and followed me. He also told me I looked like Kai, and he def has some weird issue relating to her because he still has all of her clothes, even after moving multiple times since they broke up, which is like serial killer behavior. Like, I think articles of clothing, I don't think I have a single article of clothing from like an ex or anything. I have like shirts that I've, you know, gotten as gifts or like borrowed from friends, or, you know, I have a couple of shirts that my dad gave me that he doesn't wear anymore. And I have like like 2 or 3 shirts that were my grandpa's that are like 80s vintage swag. But I don't think I like particularly... I think it would be kind of weird if I was like, yeah, these are all of my ex-girlfriend's shirts. I guess for like gay people, it's easier. It's like, if it's 2 gay guys, it's like, yeah, this was Steve's Puma shirt, but it fits me, and so I just keep wearing it. I think that's fine. But like, is he like doing Buffalo Bill shit and like dressing up like her in the mirror and being like, I'd fuck me so hard? That's crazy. And good point. Do we know that they're hers? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's any confirmation of this. I'm not sure, but we'll continue to read. Oh, nosebleed for the $5 dues. This is very disheartening. I can't believe Turkle Thomas talked to a woman. Dude, bombshell allegations. That is amazing. Everybody witness nosebleed, please, for the big 5. Very kind, very generous. Thank you so much. Okay. So... The next question is, at least so far, no smell problems were reported. And then she says, girl number 2 says, no, he def smelled. Also, the last time I saw him, he had ringworm. Bro, he had scurvy. Bro, he had scurvy. How do you even get ringworm? What even is that? A contagious fungal skin infection. How do you get it? Oh, it's like mold. It's like skin mold. Cool. Fungal growth caused by mold-like fungi that thrive in warm, humid environments like sweaty locker rooms. Spreads via direct skin-to-skin contact or with animals. Okay, it can be caught from shared items like towels, bedding, homes, showers, floors. Damn, that's crazy. Bro has like a medieval disease. What's next? He had like hand, foot, mouth. What is that? Foot, hand, mouth? What is that one called? Hand, foot, mouth. It's hand, foot, mouth, right? What's next? He had hand, foot, mouth. That's crazy. That's crazy. Never beating the scurvy allegations. That's insane. Okay, gross. Gross. Okay. And then Left 4 Dead says, this is girl number 2. He also said how it was, quote, awesome I looked like a little girl, end quote, the first time that we had sex. Told me that he is excited to learn. Okay, I already read that one. Sorry. I'm looping. That's my bad. So we've confirmed this one. This is guilty. So thus far, I have determined guilt in a court of law, in a fair court of law. Counts 1, 2, 4, and 8. Okay. Okay. We've got that thus far. Okay. That thus far. So, moving right along. We're about halfway through, guys. We're about halfway through, and we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 9. 3, 4. Yep, 5 out of 9. Okay, 5 out of 9. Okay. All right. Left for Dead, girl number 2, is responding to a question that says, why were you recording in the first place? Was this before or after you met? Did you explicitly fuck him for the clout and to one day expose him? You were involved in a lot of other e-drama. The uwu so small LARP is pretty cringe. He's worse than I thought, though. And then, like, she does kind of type, like, a small bean. And so I need to find, let me find this really quick because there were, okay, this is what I'm looking for. So there are recordings that were shared, that she shared of conversations that they had together. Let me get those up really quickly. 1 second here, hang on. Let's get those up so we can listen to them quickly. We're going to put this away for just a second. And then we're going to get this. And we're going to open this. And we're going to put a link in this. And then we're going to play the audios. Okay, so these are the audios that were recorded. There's also a transcript. To my understanding, they're kind of hard to understand. Like they're like kind of shit quality, such as like a phone recording or whatever. So, yeah, let's see what we got here. So these are the audio files somewhere in here. Okay, here we go. So there's 2. So this is the first one. This is as loud as it is. So I'll play both of them and then we'll read the transcript. Okay.
I'm a fan of night rape. I like night rape. After a long day at work, I want night rape.
True, true.
Okay, so that's the first one. And the transcript from the first audio says, Tom, unintelligible, that I like put shit on top of you and like put all that weight on you. And she says, true, actually true. And then Tom says, did you really like that? Wild. And then this is the second part of that. This one right here. Oh, this is like supposed to be the whole one. This one's only 13 seconds. That's weird. Okay, so here we go.
True, actually true. Okay, yeah, you're too strong sometimes. My little noodle arms, I thought my arms were gonna break at one point.
Yeah, you know, I'm just giant, strong,
True. So true.
Okay, so I'm going to read the transcript because these are incredibly difficult to hear. And so the comment with this is, videos of him talking about holding me down and hurting my arms and me running away. Also, night rape. Ignore how awkward I sound. Imagine being on the phone with him. So the transcript of this, I'll read these to you. So the transcript is Tom, unintelligible. That I like put shit on top of you and like really put all of that weight on you. And Katie says, true, actually true. And Tom says, did you really like that? Wild. And Katie says, true, okay, yeah, I mean, you're too strong sometimes. My little noodle arms, I thought my arms were going to break at one point. And Tom says, yeah, you know, I'm just strong and yeah, true. And then Kitty says, true, so true. And then Tom says, it's so nice, though. It's like, because you're even small and petite, and I'm, like, big and strong, so, like, we're matched up. And then Kitty says, it's like a match made in heaven. And Tom says, there it is, yeah. Like, you have small tits, and I have a big dick, and it makes it, like, perfect. And Kitty says, true, he. And then Tom says, it's like the ideal thing is my thing. Kitty says, I'm shocked that you like my boobs. And Tom says, if I do like, and then there's like static, fucking the elf girl from like unintelligible would be like, and then Kitty says, so true. Oh my God. What's the Skins fucking quote? She fucks like a fairy on acid. He. And Tom says, what again? And Kitty says, the show Skins. The show like the unintelligible. Yeah, the British show like the, and that's the audio. So So those are the two audios that she shared. I think that it's just like evidence that they were talking, and then it corroborates that he was like really sexually aggressive, that he was hurting her, like hurting her arms, and being kind of rough. I think that's to corroborate that claim. Yeah. So this person asked, why were you recording in the first place? So this answers that question that was just asked. And girl number 2 says, my best friend was at my house and I thought I was a victim from the jump. He was saying similar stuff all call, so she started recording. At the end of the night rape, you can barely hear her whisper, you a victim, lol. Agree, I was only playing along because IDK, what else to say? Also, I talked to him because both emo with similar interests, I thought, but turns out we had nothing in common, and he listens to bad emo music, lol. Also, was only involved with Jet stuff because IDK, I'm a hot girl online who's in the same evil sphere, so they tend to orbit me. Abby exposed Jet on my behalf, lol, over bitterness. I don't even know who Ellie was or the drama. I guess I accidentally opened that wormhole. So with this girl, this is something that I've heard, and I'm hoping that there's screenshots in here about this, but this girl apparently has been involved in kind of exposing other people online. And then the only thing that I'll know is, like, obviously with all of these things that I'm about to say, obviously this girl, like, the judgments made of her do not invalidate any of the claims against Tom. But, like, she says in this message here that I was only playing along because IDK, what else to say? I also talked to him. Like, she was saying that, like, from the jump. Or was it? I agree because I was only playing along. IDK, what else to say? Turns out we had nothing in common. I was just a hot girl online or whatever. Like, it's just kind of, I don't know. It's like if she knew that he was a bad person and she was just kind of only entertaining it for why. You know what I mean? For why? Kind of an interesting question, but that doesn't mean that he didn't do these things, right? Just kind of like a, why are we doing this kind of question, but whatever. Whatever. Yeah, she doesn't deserve to be treated like this in any meaningful capacity. I completely agree. And then Tom liking bad emo music is, assumed. And then we have Honorable Aiden mention. This is an Icy Chat leak. If you guys remember, leaks come from Icy Chat occasionally, not frequently. Okay, write that down. It's occasionally, not frequently. Write that down as per my best friend Aiden Underground's request, okay? So this is Aiden from Icy Chat, and he says, fuck it, dude, I'm leaking. Kai is into age play with lyrics. Or, excuse me, let me try that again. There's supposed to be a period here, but Aiden is stupid. Fuck it, dude, I'm leaking. Kai is into age play. Lyrics told me when he first broke up with her. So if we remember, Kai is the one that cheated on Turkey Tom with Lyrics. So apparently, according to Lyrics, and Lyrics is in the same commentary sphere, or was in the same commentary sphere as, like, Aiden, Augie RFC, like all these people. So it stands to reason that Aiden would be privy to this information. I think that is a credible statement. And then Aiden goes on to say another leak from Icy, which never happens, guys. Or sorry, occasionally happens from Icy. Not frequently, occasionally. Anyway, Aiden says, Laris confided in me like 2 years ago that Kai likes to pretend to be a little girl during sex and did this with Tom. That's why I went so insane when Lyrics got back with her. So we are starting to we're starting to get to count 5, which is into age play. Obviously, just because somebody is into age play doesn't mean that they do that with everybody that they fuck, right? Like maybe you're really into feet, but that doesn't mean that you fuck everybody's feet that you date or whatever. I don't even know how you would fuck a foot, but you know what I mean? Like, okay, so, but we're touching on count 5. Count 5 is next on the docket, okay? So, Left 4 Dead, girl number 2, Johnny asks, just out of curiosity, can you name a few bands that he listens to? And Left 4 Dead says, Wage War, Alpha Wolf, A Day to Remember, only band we had in common. He listened to a lot of new age slop festival type emo, if that makes sense. And then Billy says, so you're just a pass around E-Thought. And then she says, I never met Jet or any 4chan freak, but Tom, L-E-L. And I don't know what this Jet shit is. I don't know who Jet is. I don't know anything about that, okay? And then Left 4 Dead, Sous Chef asks, besides the age play bullshit, can you tell us about any weird shit he's also into? She says, she dated him longer, so she might have more insight, but just weird CNC ass shit, forced play again into small girls, and damn near age play. He would talk about rape a lot. Okay. So we will also put on here CNC night rape. I guess we'll keep going. Because the night rape, obviously, we'll just say we're guilty on count 10, okay? Guilty on count 10. Definitely there for sure. Definitely there for sure, okay. Munchin asks, what did Tom's living space look like? Was it messy? Did he have empty cans and boxes everywhere? Did he own anything weird? Sacramento says, girl number 1, he had piles of dirty zins like little volcanoes and empty cans and bottles everywhere. Look at my streamer dog. I'm getting ringworm. That's crazy. That's crazy. Zins are also disgusting. I have a couple of friends that are really into zins, and it's like, what is the appeal of zins? You just want to get like a head rush, feel like you're gonna puke and shit your pants at the same time. I think that zins suck. Zins fucking suck, dude. And yes, we stay kink shaming. I think that we should kink shame more. I'm not afraid to say it. Kink shaming is my kink. Zins are so gross, in my opinion. I would rather people chew straight tobacco. I think chewing tobacco is less gross than zins. There, I said it. There, I said it. And then these are... This is somebody clarifying, said, I think some people are confused. This is Left 4 Dead, who is also the woman who helped expose Jet, Neptune, and said Chris Lynch sent her $100. She is not the lolicon pedo baiter. However, she doesn't seem too far off. And then these are like images that are meant to show that she's also like a, you know, like a lolicon, I don't even know, like thought, I guess. I don't know. I guess this character, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. I truthfully don't know. Is this character like a lolly or whatever? I think that she just looks like an emo girl here, but I don't know. I guess I'm a bad judge of that. You'd have to ask somebody who is more degenerate than I. But I also don't know anything about these other allegations. I don't know anything about Chris Lynch or Jet. I don't know anything about either of these people. I don't know, so. And then somebody posts at Sacramento and says, that's battery and illegal without consent. Are you implying that it was consensual? She should report him to the police if she suffered bodily harm. And Sacramento says, he would hit and choke without ever asking me if it was okay. And yeah, I'm thinking about it. Probably going to be one of my last posts on here when more shit eventually comes out about him. Just know that I warned you all. And then DZ's commentary is spoiler. She did not stop posting. So this person says, picture lawyer up. The court is neutral by design and should make a steady case if he indeed did hit you without consent and without warning out of nowhere. You don't expect them or anyone to take your word for it, not because you were wrong or defective, but because you know it's legality. Kind of just giving like a little preface here. And then Sacramento says, thanks. I had already been in contact with a lawyer because I know Tom has too. The difficult part of this case is that most of the proof is in his hands, i.e. the videos. So would need to get a subpoena for that if his snivelly ass hasn't figured out how to like perma-wipe it yet. The next one that I have here is Sacramento posting and saying, just gonna go nuclear before his imminent crash out. But yeah, he would get mad at me calling our encounters rape play over text, which is essentially what they were. We have 2 text messages to submit as evidence to confirm or deny the rape play allegations. So we're either going to go from guilty to mega guilty, or we're going to drop down to undetermined, okay? So here we have this screenshot. And so this is Sacramento. Is this one Sacramento? Let me double check really quick. Okay, so yes, this is Sacramento. This is girl number 1. I love the Batmobile. And then Tom sends a picture and says, this is my basement. And then is this the poster for what's it called? The movie about Facebook? The movie about Mark Zuckerberg? Is that what this poster is? What is it? The Social Network? Dog shit movie. Okay. 7, great movie. I can't tell what this movie is, and I can't really tell what this one is. That looks like X-Men. He has a Minions poster. He's guilty on all counts. I don't need to see anymore. Bailiff, kill him. What? Guys, do you want to see my goon cave? Guys, are we hosting goon cave? Guys, check out my goon cave. Goon cave, smash or pass? Goon cave, smash or pass, guys? Would you goon in my cave, guys? Would you goon with me here in this cave? Yeah, he has shit taste. These are confirmed. He has shit taste. Confirmed. Okay. So, I love the Batmobile. He says, this is my basement. She says, oh, wait, you're at your house? And he says, yeah, not my parents. My house. I had to stop there and look around. LOL. She says, I like the decipherable me poster. Me. Which one's me? This one? Is this me? I don't even fucking know. Whatever. I'm not getting sunlocked. I like the Despicable Me poster. Sorry, I can't read. That was my bad. I'm illiterate. The e-girl rape dungeon. And he says, it's nice. I don't miss it that much, but it's got its epic moments. So she refers to it as a rape dungeon. And he does not deny or contest that it is a rape dungeon. I would like the record to reflect. Please document. And then she sends a little evil emoji. And he says, do not say rape times. And she says, okay, sorry. And he says, change that to consensual sexual encounters, which is what they are. Thank you. And she says, I know. And he says, but okay, sounds good. I'd like to, as I just said, get some work done, but I think I can still be here. And she says, okay, yay. Are you mad at me? If I want to be in my best faith hat, I have my best faith hat on. Like, this kind of sounds like he's, like, kind of joking a little bit, right? Like, if I was like, hey, guys, do you like my rape dungeon? And you were like, please don't say rape. Please say room for consensual sexual encounters only. Like, that could be a bit. I mean, it's hard to decipher tone on text. But, either way, we do have a goon cave. I think that's cool. We have a goon cave. That's cool. But I'm not going to pretend that couldn't be, like, a kind of, like, ironic statement, you know? Where it's like, is this the rape den? And it's like, no, this is the consensual encounters only allowed den. Like, I guess that could be a bit. But we still already have guilty. So we're not leveling down, but we're not leveling up yet either. And then so Sacramento says, more proof that the girl he sent nudes to was an age player. Yeah. So this is screenshot 1. And this is... He's like any bigger. Is that a little better? Yeah, that looks a little better. Okay. So she says, like a bruh. And Tom says, I don't even know what you're saying to me. She says, she looks like a crazy person and dresses like a child. It's weird. It's okay, though. And he says, I agree. She is weird and disturbed. IDK what to say. I wasn't taking anything at that time. And she says, I have Gooner mutuals with her, unfortunately. I'm just a little creeped out, but that's okay. And he says, I also got creeped out. She was so nuts, I stopped talking to her. And she says, that genre of women are demons. Every one of those types that I met, like, actually fucked up. I was friends with one for a while, and she was insane and fucked me over. And he says, yeah, well, this chick is insane, too, and I feel bad for how bad her mind is, so shrug. And she says, she dresses like a kid, so I think it's weird, no offense. And he says, yeah, I don't know what that's about. And she says, I know I've had people come on to me because I look young, and I'm small, and so it's weird. I guess he's just being, like, particularly safe over text messages, I guess. But, like, I guess the only thing that I'll say is, like, why the fuck would you subscribe to somebody's content if you didn't like it? Like, why would you sign up for, like, an OnlyFans if you didn't like the content? Like, obviously he was into the fact that she, like, looked young or whatever, right? Like, that she was, like, a pedobait lolicon-nographer or whatever. Obviously. What's up, SMJ? I hope that you're well. I hope that you're doing good, bud. Haven't seen you in a while. Happy New Year. Okay. And then she says, sorry for being cringe, but yeah, here's more proof that he was in contact with her during our relationship. Ooh, I can't read this one. It has a bad word in this one, okay? Hang on, let me censor this really quick. I'll just read it. I can't read it. It has a bad word. I'm just gonna zoom in really far so you can't see it. Okay. You can't see the bad word. Hopefully you can't see it. So Tom says, all right, ninja, IDK what you're trying to say to me. And she says, it's okay. I'll drop it, LOL. He says, well, that's good. She says, I have some Aztec Mayan magic in my mind. Am I crazy? And he says, no, I don't like you being judgmental and it's annoying about this. She says, I'm not being either of those things. And he says, then what would you call it? And she says, IDK, I think I was just mad because I saw you texting this girl nonstop when we hung out. And now I put a face to the name and it freaks me out that she's like a weird pedobaiter. But I am being annoying, you're right. And he says, if I didn't have to talk to her, I wouldn't have, but I regret even telling you about the situation that's unfolding now. And she says, I'm sorry. says, so next time I'll keep this inside. Anyway, I gotta go work out. And she says, are you mad at me? And he says, a little bit, yeah. I just got up and being hit with whatever this is. So, okay, so she's like calling him out on like you were literally gooning with this and you got like catfish or whatever, but it's like a girl that's like fucking pedo baiting. So, and he gets mad about it. And then the other thing too, this is like such a shitty thing to do. This is like so white woman coded. Turkey Tom is a white woman, confirmed, guilty on the count of acting like a middle-aged white mom that's passive aggressive. Like, he's saying like, I wouldn't still be talking to this girl if I didn't have this ongoing like situation with her like threatening to release this shit or like blackmail me or whatever. And he's like, so next time I'll just keep it inside. Anyway, I gotta go. That's like total like middle-aged white woman manipulator, like gaslighter shit, right? Like you've had your second bottle of Franzia wine and it's like, you know what? I just won't tell you the next time that I'm having big feelings because obviously you don't care. Next time I won't even put on Dance Moms because you don't even fucking like Dance Moms. I didn't want to watch it anyway. Are you mad at me right now? No, I'm just tired. That's so me coded. At the function, if like somebody doesn't let me finish my joke, I like go and I pout in the corner and I'm like, huh. And everybody's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just tired. I'm fine. I just got really tired. As I'm like sitting facing away, like crisscross applesauce into a corner. Are you okay right now? Yeah, just tired. Nice. Get him. True. So what? I'm just like the worst person ever? Got it. Okay, I'll never tell you anything again. Nice. Face. Okay. Next image here, we have Sacramento. And then somebody asked, was he on a date with you and texting another woman? And girl number 1 says, yes, was texting that creepy hoarder chick, saw her name, was Ellie, and figured out her account pretty quickly because he had told me that she was some sort of Belle Delphine looking. Had some Gooner mutuals with her on Instagram. When I saw that she dressed like a kid, my stomach dropped. He told me he was texting her, talk about the hacking situation, but they still talked after the situation had faded. And then this person says, you should be filing a police report along with the other exes if he did abuse you as well. Hanging around here too long rarely works out well for noobs who don't understand this site. That's it. That's my only warning. Be careful. And she says, I'm working on it and asked Joshua for advice, just trying to get an info dump. And that I'm assuming that she's referring to Null. And then this person is giving, oops, I think I looped again. I think I did loop again. Did I? Hang on one second. Yep. Okay, this is a second message. Okay. So then somebody asks, or said, excuse me, Dick the Master said, I remember when he said that it takes a while for him to get an erection and that he has a body count of 3. Sacramento says, girl number 1, body count is 15 plus now since being 2 in March of 2024, according to Katie. Part of why I said something, he has definitely become a weirdo with more girls because he sleeps around. This person asked, did he ever threaten to hit you in the head with a brick too? That's an I'm Alex reference for those who are late to the party. And Sacramento responds and says, haha, no, but he was working on a video about the I'm Alex dude the last time that we spoke. And then this person says, it's really not uncommon for normie young women to screenshot dating app matches and profiles conversations to share with their friends, which is a fair point. And then Sacramento girl number 1 responds and says, I can address would screenshot my matches sometimes to document and put a face to the name. When I got their number, not to be crass, but as a young, somewhat attractive girl, you get a lot of matches and it's hard to keep up. I also had a feeling that there was something weird about him. And I mean, I guess that's fair. Like if you're, and this is like, I would say this is good etiquette for anybody that's meeting up with people on dating apps. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl or it's Tinder or it's Grindr or whatever the fuck it is. Like if you're going to meet with somebody, like meet in a public place, obviously, and then like send like one of your close friends that you trust, like a picture of this person and where you're going. And then be like, yo, if I don't text you back by like 10 o'clock or whatever, I'm with this dude at this place. Like call in the cavalry, like call 911 immediately, that kind of thing. That's just good practice. It's not uncommon for women to do that either because it's like a safety thing, right? Because sometimes people are serial killers, but even if you're a dude going to hook up with other dudes, you never know. Dudes are notoriously crazy. Not only just to women, but to other dudes, right? It's good etiquette. Send a picture of who you're going to meet with, their number, where you're going to be, what time you're going to be home, to somebody that you trust, so you don't get murdered and shit, right? Very important, guys. Okay. Next, I have a screenshot of Turkey Tom uploading his I'm Alex video literally yesterday. So I guess that's just confirmation that she is at least somewhat correct. Like, it adds validation to a lot of her claims. Like, if she says, oh, he told me he was working on this video, and then he posts the video that he told her that he was working on or whatever, that kind of corroborates that they at least had somewhat of a close relationship, right? That's cool. Yes, Tito, I can be your safe space, always. I will be your lighthouse in the storm. Okay, Sacramento says, one more thing to add, I thought was odd. Never really expressed interest in Hello Kitty or that type of e-girl stuff. I had like one Hello Kitty figure on my car. As a gift for Tom, he bought me a Hello Kitty pajamas and a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff similar to what Ellie Creepy Hoarders wears. And Creepy Hoarders was the Belle Delphine Pedobait Lolicon Gooner. So, kind of odd. And then this person says, that's horrifyingly ironic. Do you have proof he purchased these for you? A message, a gift receipt, or something? And then she says, I have pictures. Sacramento girl number 1 says, I have pictures of the stuff and a message I sent my friend about it. Okay. And then, so the message here, I will show. This is the text to the friend about the Hello Kitty Goonery. Okay, I'll call you in a little whenever you're free. Yes, call me whenever I'm in the car. Okay. OMG, I need to hear about Tom stuff. OMFG, he PMO so bad. But he said he got me Rami stuff for my birthday. OMG, girl, he really liked the king of mixed signals. Okay, so he confirming that he did buy her, like, the Hello Kitty shit, I guess. I guess there's weirder things to be into than Hello Kitty, I suppose. I think I told you guys before, I had a friend that dated a guy that was really into Mickey Mouse. I think I would rather date somebody who was into Hello Kitty than Mickey Mouse, personally. I mean, I would choose neither, but if death is not an option, because, like, Hello Kitty doesn't talk, right? Could you imagine somebody being like, aha, while you're fucking, like, aha, like, I would lose my shit. Like, I couldn't do it. Okay. Wild Drip asks, how was his family and his relationship to them? Sacramento girl number 1 says, his family was nice and normal, but he was rude to his mom like an edgy 15-year-old boy way. He told me that he wouldn't do anything his parents asked because he has his own money now. Katie heard him on the phone with his mom and said the same thing. Not sure what went wrong because his family is super sweet and I enjoyed visiting with them. And then girl number 1 Sacramento also goes on to say, also would drop the N-word casually in front of his parents, which was weird. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, texting my mom the N-word several times a day just to keep her on her toes. Like, what the fuck is going on? Also, the biggest red flag that you will ever see in another person is the way that they treat their family and the way that they treat, like, quote unquote, like, lesser people. So think like service workers, janitors, like bus drivers, like people that are kind of like, quote unquote, on the lower rungs of society. The way that people treat those individuals is going to tell you a lot about them. Like how they treat somebody that they perceive as a nobody, right? Like if they're like super fucking rude or disrespectful to service staff, super rude or disrespectful to homeless people, like they don't treat people who they think are less than them with respect. Because like on a base level, I think that everybody kind of has this system in their mind where it's like, oh, this person's like a total fucking loser. I couldn't imagine being like 35 and working at like fucking Taco Bell, what a fucking dweeb or whatever. And then so because you have like this elevated status in your mind of yourself compared to this person, you treat them like shit. That's a really bad quality because even if you are quote unquote better than somebody, that doesn't mean that you like treat them like shit. That's just a big red flag. Okay. That's a big red flag. And then also treating your family like shit, I think is a huge red flag as well. Obviously, if your parents are like, I don't know, like cult abusers or something, like they joined a cult and they like tortured you as a child, whatever. Okay, cool. If your parents are like drug addicts or like hoarders or whatever, okay, that's fine, whatever. Generally speaking though, like somebody who treats their parents like shit, they're going to treat you like shit too. Because that's like their family, dude. Also, like, I hate Zoomers, dude. I hate Zoomers, dude. I hate them, okay? I would never dream of talking disrespectfully to my mom. No one fears La Chancla like they should, okay? If I talk shit to my mom, I would be fucking picking myself up off of the floor. And my mom is very small, very, very small, okay? Like, she is significantly smaller than me and, like, every other person that's ever been alive, okay? But she is, oh my god, she does not fucking play, okay? Does not fucking play, alright? I would never dream of talking to my mom like that. People just don't fear their parents like they should. And when I say fear their parents, obviously I'm being hyper, blah, 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 blah. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't disrespect your parents. Like, you just don't. You just don't. You don't talk shit to your parents, okay? Not like a Call of Duty lobby. Like, arguing about what you want for dinner, right? That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. Be nice to your parents, okay? Be nice to your parents. Be nice to your parents. And definitely don't call your parents the N-word, okay? If we can't be nice to our parents, at least don't call your parents the N-word. I think the bar is pretty low, okay? I remember when I was very young, and I heard, I'm going to say a bad word, guys. I learned what the word cunt was for the first time. And obviously I didn't know what it meant. I was really young. Like, even when I was younger, like, you would hear curse words, but you wouldn't know what they meant, right? Like, somebody would be like, oh, fuck, but you wouldn't even know what that meant. You were just like, tee fuck. Like, you didn't know what it meant. You didn't even know how to use it in a sentence, right? I had heard the word somewhere. I don't remember where I heard it. And I didn't know what it meant, but I thought it was like cool and edgy. You know what I mean? I thought it was like cool and edgy. Made the mistake of calling my mom that. And I will never forget that day. Dude, no shot. No fucking shot. No fucking shot, okay? Word of the wise. Don't talk shit to your parents, okay? I miss the days when parents ruled with an iron fist. I'm just kidding, you know. Abusing your kids is bad, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. But, you know what I'm saying? La Chancla needs to make a comeback, I think, in a lot of these cases, all right? Respect your parents, okay? I brought you into this world. I can take you out. Okay? I'll give you something to cry about. No? Never heard that? Never heard that? Oh, yeah. A lot of the words that, like, one of my very first words was shit. My mom has a mouth that would make a sailor blush. So I learned a lot of curse words very young, okay? I was a proficient cursor by the time I was in, like, 2nd grade, and I got in a lot of trouble for it. But I just didn't know what the words meant, obviously, because I was too young to really, like, understand what the fuck they even meant. But yeah, there were a couple of times where I said words and I didn't know what they meant, and I learned real fucking quick to, like, not say shit like that. Especially to your mom, okay? Especially to your mom. I thought it was just, like, a funny word. I thought it was, like, a funny word. It was not funny. It was not funny. It was not funny. Not at all. The only one that was laughing was God. And my ancestors. They felt my pain and my torment. Okay, let's continue. Jadal asks, I noticed this as well. He also asked her about Bluey. What is Bluey? What is Bluey, guys? What is that? It's like a show, right? It's like a kid show. Oh, I think I've seen, like, I know what these characters are. These characters look familiar to me. What is it? Oh, it's like Peppa Pig. It's in the same category as Peppa Pig. Hey, who's a furry? Furries? Furries in chat. Furries in chat. Furries in chat. I have a very important question. Furries? Rise up, okay? Why is it cool to watch Bluey, but it's not cool to watch Peppa Pig? Why is that? Can anybody answer that? Like, why do furries love Bluey and they think it's, like, cute and, like, super adorable, and they draw sometimes their personas in, like, the Bluey style and shit like that? Why is that cool, but Peppa Pig is not? I've never seen a furry with a Peppa Pig persona. I've never seen that. Why? Why? Explain to me the difference here. It's because Peppa Pig is British, okay? There has to be more than that. What if there was an American Peppa Pig? Because Peppa is unironically a bat. Are furries basing their personas on role models for children? Come on. Because Australia is superior. Will you guys just be honest and tell me it's because it's a pig and that you guys like the dog shit? Can you just be honest with me? Stop lying. Stop fucking lying to me. Just be honest and say it's because it's a dog. Just be honest. It was a trick question. I already know the fucking answer. You fucking liars.
Liar!
It's because it's a pig, isn't it? It's because it's a pig, isn't it? No one ever has a fursona and it's like a gross animal. Nobody has like a, I don't know, like a fucking, what's like a gross, like a gross marsupials. Marsupials. Gross marsupials. I wouldn't say opossums because opossums have a cult following, right? Everybody loves those. Okay, I've never seen, what is this? A quoll. I've never seen a quoll persona. Never seen a Tasmanian devil persona. A very rare opossum personas. Okay. It's always like wolves and dogs and shit. It's because it's a pig. You can just say it. It's a pig, right? It's the same thing with other kin people. They're like, yeah, I was like a dragon in a past life. Nobody was ever like a worm in a past life. Nobody was ever like a leopard gecko in a past life. It's because the wolves and the dogs and the shit are cool and they're like aesthetic or whatever. It's because it's a pig. You can just be honest with me. I'm tired of playing games. Just say it. Say it, Bella. Say it. Okay? People have pig zonas? What are you talking about? Are they cops? What do you mean? Whatever. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not lying. Peppa Pig art style is too... True. It is pretty busted. Peppa Pig is pretty busted. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Thank you very much, Little Fly, for the 2. Everybody, what display is? Also, the other thing, too, like, that's my favorite thing about, like, DID fakers, is they're like, this is my 10,000-year-old dragonkin altar that spawned the universe. This is my Gladriel altar that comes from Middle Earth. Nobody has, like, a middle-aged, balding, racist, white altar named Keith. They're all cool. It's like, this is my altar, Elizabeth Swan. She's a introject from Pirates of the Caribbean, and she's searching for the Black Pearl. It's never like, this is my Christian Bale altar from The Mechanist or The Machinist, however you say that, that's anorexic and like super racist. Nobody has those altars. It's always the cool altars, the cool kinnies. You know what I mean? Ugh. Okay, we've been sunlocked for too long. I'm sorry. Allow me to continue. Allow me to continue. That is so cool, Tito, that you have an Epstein altar. Thank you. Your Epstein altar and my Ghislaine Maxwell altar are dating in the headspace. That's canon. Write that down. Okay. Okay, sorry. Allow me to continue. So, Jandal says, I noticed this as well. He also asked her about Bluey shortly after, which are usually completely unrelated characters, but Ellie buys a lot of Bluey clothes. Pretty sure... I don't know what this is. Is her... I don't know how to say that. What's her original username? She goes by a few online, most commonly used. Please drop any photos you have, perhaps around his house, photos of the holes that he punched or kicked in the walls, any evidence of violence. Sorry to sound pushy, but that's basically essential at this point. And then Sacramento Girl number 1 says, showed me the holes in his walls, IRL, and on FaceTime. Didn't get a picture. Told me he was paying the owner of the house he was renting to get them fixed. LOL. I can send pictures of inside of his gamer room. The night rape cave. I'm so fucking excited. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Let's go. I think that, like, punching holes in the wall and shit like that is so antisocial, especially if you're, like, older. I have a little bit more grace to give for people that are, like, younger and more emotionally reactive and don't know how to, like, control their emotions yet. Because to be, 15 years old and getting your ass absolutely fucking beat at Call of Duty just unlocked a primal sense of rage. Of course, everybody has gotten just like completely fucking raped on Rust or on Shipment or Nuketown, and you just get so fucking mad and you just yeet that controller right into the fucking... Everybody's done it, okay? We've all been there. Don't pretend. May he who was without sin cast the first stone, okay? We've all been there. But as an adult, if you're like kicking holes in the wall and shit, it's time to go to therapy, okay? When you're like 15, okay, whatever. You're like 15, you're dumb, you're young, you don't really know how to control your emotions, whatever. It's time to grow and learn, okay? When you're like 25, there's literally like no fucking excuse to be punching holes in the wall. That's ridiculous, okay? Okay, so piles of dirty zins on the desk. So let's take a peek. Take a peek at this image, guys. Let's do a little bit of detective work, okay? I've got my magnifying glass out, okay? So, let's see what we have here. First of all, this chair looks hella comfy. If anybody can please find me and send me a link to this chair. Ooh, the back support here looks great. This looks great. Somebody find this chair and send it to me, please. Anybody? Oh, is this the chair? No. I was gonna say, it's on the box right here. ISO, a link for this chair, please, okay? Alright, so... very minimalistic. Okay, we've got a turkey duck. Cute. Turkey tongue. Okay, get it. Awesome. Terrible cable management. The cable management is just dog shit here. Absolutely dog shit. Obviously don't care about saving the turtles with this one, okay? We could have easily gotten a plastic reusable water bottle or metal. Obviously, metal is better for you, okay? Because the microplastics, when you wash it, sometimes that releases, and that's bad for you to drink, okay? We don't want to do that. So maybe metal, you know, stainless steel is always good. Okay, so we have a phone here, more terrible cable management. And then we've got a white monster, objectively the worst flavor of monster. And then we've got the Zin, an empty Zin. This is the lid to the Zin. And as you can see, all the chewed up Zins are in the lid. Which is kind of gross. That they're just like out and chilling. I mean, I guess it's better than them just being on the desk. Like, all things considered, I think this is kind of a nitpick, to be honest with you guys. I think that this is a nitpick, just to be a little completely honest with everybody. Okay, because the Zins, the used chewed up Zins, are in some kind of receptacle. Okay, they're not just like strewn about. They are placed neatly in the cap of the empty Zin. I will say that. This feels a little nitpicky to me, but we do lose points for cable management. Absolutely. The cable management looks like fucking ass. I don't like that at all. It's making me upset. It's making me upset. And what kind of camera is this? I've been in the market. Is this like a GoPro? Is that what this is? Is this a GoPro? Can anybody identify what kind of camera this is? I'm in the market for a new webcam. Anybody? Linkers in chat. Anybody? Is this a GoPro? I've heard good things about streaming with GoPros, but whatever. Okay, so this seems like a little bit of an embellishment, but that's okay. Well, I mean, it's not okay, but okay. So a little bit of an embellishment. I don't see the Zin cans or the Zins like stacked mile high. I don't see that. Okay, so we'll continue on. And then, okay, this is insane. You guys are gonna hate this. Okay. We're doing lateral violence. The girls are fighting. Sacramento, girl number 1 says, also, to clear some things up, I don't have BPD. Katie does. I'm not fucking crazy. That bitch is. Just for the record, I'm not the crazy bitch here. Okay, insane statement right off the bat. However, before he tries to come at me, I was open about the fact to him very early on that I was sent to a mental health facility twice prior to our relationship because of depression/eating issues. Very early on in our relationship, I would still continue to tell me that he liked how small I am and feed into it. So, I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? Like, I think that it's okay to have a preference for, you know, like skinny women or like smaller women. I think that's completely fine. But if you know that somebody has like an eating disorder and you're like, yes, babe, eat less. I love that. That's kind of crazy. I don't think that we should do that. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Up next. Mingo asks or says, actually, more than anything, and after quickly going through Ellie's Instagram, I think the Occam's razor approach here is that Tom goes for the anorexic/bulimic type that probably looks underage. Anyway, Sacramento, my main question here is as follows, and I think it is important that it's answered. What convinced you to go to Kiwi Farms over, i.e., leaking this on like Twitter? And this is a good question. I think this is a good question because realistically, I think that even someone who isn't familiar with online internet shit, I think that anybody who even kind of remotely does a little bit of cursory research can understand that Kiwi Farms has like a pretty bad reputation, at least for most people online. And sometimes that negative reputation comes from people who have done things that have gotten them on this website in the first place, right? Like notoriously, some of the people that hate Kiwi Farms the most are people that have threads on there, right? And that's obviously why they don't like it. And then there's a lot of different reasons. Plenty of people don't like the site. Plenty of people don't like the culture on the site. They don't really like, you know, some of the behavior of the users, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that even just like cursory research into this website, because originally Sacramento said, you know, I didn't know what it was. I just saw that it was on his phone all the time. Even just kind of like researching into that, I think that you would find out relatively quickly that it has a pretty negative perception. So the question then would be, if you have all this information, why would you give it to like a source or a site that has a negative reputation, even if you agree with that reputation or not? Like, let's just say, so for example, Rideau is like one of those like super anti-LGBT magazines. If you were somebody that genuinely had a story of, you know, some crazy trans shit, like they're transing the children or something, would you give that to Rideau, which is like something that people hand wave all the time of being like a biased source, or would you go to like a legitimate, quote unquote, like CNN, MSNBC, like whatever, right? Like, I guess that is like a pretty fair question. Why would you not send this to another content creator that, you know, doesn't like him? Like, I don't know. There were other options here. So I think that's a fair question. And Meowsers is probably right. I'm going to guess that Meowsers is probably right. Because she said that he reads his thread all the time, which is bozo behavior. Name searching yourself on the internet is terrible for your mental health and just cringe and stupid. Maybe she wanted him to see it, like knowing that he read the site. That's a possibility. I can fall on that sword. So Sacramento responds and says, "This is where I found all the sus stuff about him to begin with, and Joshua has been kind to me, so I felt comfortable posting." And then Getcha asks or says, "I'm sorry, but when I heard piles of Zins, I was expecting some nasty hoarder shit. You had me with the text messages and stuff. I don't think 2 cans of Zins is gonna mean anything." And then she says, "That was on a good day. I swear it got worse." Again, like, I don't know. I think the Zin thing was like a nothing burger. And then Dick asks, "Was he possessive of you? Was he possessive of you? Excuse me. We know Kai alleged that he was controlling and jealous." And she says, "No, he didn't give a fuck. In fact, he would actually get mad at me for questioning his past." So far, it's not looking good. I mean, I would like to see it be a little bit more evidence heavy, but the reality is that if you're like hanging out with somebody in real life and you're dating somebody and you don't really like discuss a lot of things over text, it's like over FaceTime or over the phone or whatever, I think it's kind of reasonable that you wouldn't have a ton of evidence, right? Like, I'm not meticulously recording phone calls that I have just in case, right? I think that that's fair, that it's kind of a reasonable expectation that he would not have, or excuse me, she would not have, you know, tons and tons and tons and tons of logs of this stuff. I mean, that's fair, but also, I don't know, it kind of relies a lot on just narratives or whatever, but I guess, I don't know. Could be telling the truth, could be not. It seems, though, that this is probably pretty reasonable track so far, right? So, Turkey Tom uploads his I'm Alex video, and the comments are not friendly. Turkey Tom, YouTube's the last performative male. How are you going to just casually post a main channel video, Tommy boy? Address the allegations, Turkish Tom. Destiny sends his regards. Bro, talk about the drama. And then it's just like a bunch of those. Okay. And then these are screenshots from Sacramento. Kitty gave me permission to share DMs. I thought it might help get the story a little bit. So this is the first screenshot of the DM. And this says, so yes, unfortunately his name is Tom. I am a lesbian. Unless you're talking about Turkey Tom, the Jimmy John's sub, then you got the wrong woman. And then she says, I am talking about the Jimmy John sub. Nice. You're too good for that Tom man girl. And then she says, I know, we just broke up. He was talking to this Belle Delphine girl who was going to leak his nudes, and he punched a hole in his wall. IDK when you last talked to him, but he's a mess. She says, who is this, Tom? Because deadass, the only man I've ever spoken to named Tom. And then dramatic pause. If it makes you feel better, we don't even get the rest of those messages. If it makes you feel better, we hadn't talked in over a year. I met him twice in like February of 24. Okay, that's good. Oh, okay. This is insane. You are way better than him. He was actually shockingly a gooner. He recorded everything we did, which scared me. And he also didn't come the whole time. I'm sorry to TMI like that, but I'm shocked you were so pretty. She says, basically, he told me not to research who he was, and then I did, and I found his Kiwi Farms thing, and then he got so mad. I had the same exact issue. And she says, oh my god, girl, I could tell you it all. I used to be a Kiwi Farms brained incel 4chaner. Crazy thing to say. Okay. And then this conversation continues. Understandable, twin, or I'm not even going to try to read that. Scary, especially with somebody with any type of fame, and all the fans are evil. Yeah. And then replied to, he likes to hit and choke during sex, and basically I was bleeding for days after. And she says, yes, OMG twin. You are so seen right now. I hope you know I understand. I am so sorry you went through that. And she says, thank you. I just need someone to talk to. She says, I understand, and I am here for you. Anything, and I'll support you. So this is just kind of corroborating that, yes, he is a degenerate gooner, and that multiple women have allegations of him being, like, very sexually aggressive, very not being able to nut unless we're watching, like, goon videos, which I think is insane. And then Sacramento posts Katie's story archives. So let me get rid of these really quick. I'm running out of room. Okay, hang on. So this is her story, and this is March 10th. And we can see here, seeing Tom today. I'm not sleeping. I have to go to the airport in 3 hours, LOL. And this is March 10th, 2024. This is her. Obviously, we saw an image of her earlier. And then we have this one right here. Okay. And then this is from March 15th. And then it says, and I still have this stupid bruise on my face. And we have this here. Okay, so got an image of the alleged bruise. Okay. And then we have here a relevant morale clip. Wow, any excuse to bring up my best friend, Morale. I thought about sending Morale a message and say, hey, Morale, can you pinky promise me that you're not like a giga rape molester and that you're not going to rape and molest anytime soon? Please and thank you. But I didn't. Okay, let me back this up. This is our relevant Morale clip here, guys. Oh shit, sorry. I fucked it up. Hang on. Let me turn on the volume. Hang on. Okay. Coming. Sorry. Working on it. So sorry. So sorry. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it seems like, so he didn't do lube or like, I guess, what is the term? Like kissing, pussy rubbing, making out. Apparently Tom just went right in, which caused...
Dude, make sure that you're always doing pussy rubbing. Okay, this is a strong message. Also, who makes Morale's little cats? Why do I not have a detective Morale come? Should we just rip this little avatar and put a fucking mustache and glasses on it? Should we do that? Should I do that? I think I should do that. What do you guys think? Should I rip this little detective Morale and just make it Morale come detective? Yeah, the word he's looking for is foreplay, but personally, I like pussy rubbing better. Guys, do not forget the pussy rubbing. Very important. Very important. Always pussy rub. Very true. Very true. Dude, that's so fucked. I'm messaging Morale. I'm going to say, who made your detective Morale avatar? Hi, Morale. Smile. Who made your detective Morale avatar? I think that I really like this bit that I just stole Morale's cat and like threw a shitty mustache and glasses on it and then a shitty name tag that says Malcolm. I think that's awesome. I think it's funny. Okay, some people are like, why did you steal that? You stole that? And it's like, no. Obviously, it's different. Obviously, there was transformative content added to it, okay? Obviously, it's different. Morale's little dude obviously does not have a mustache or a goatee, nor a name tag or glasses. Okay? Fuck. I know, at this point we should just be Moralcom. I think that's who we should be. That's me now. That's me. Dude, if Morale turns out to be a giga rapist, I'm gonna be so upset. Like, I don't know how I can ever trust again. I don't know. I just don't know. I've been hurt so many times before. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so this is Noel, and Noel says, Splinter thread for users who are upset that we are letting someone post internet drama on an internet drama website without first receiving her medical paperwork to see if she has BPD, so we know completely to disregard or heavily scrutinize her statements. True. We need to determine if the woman is a whore before we discuss. I completely agree. This is a strong statement. Very true. Okay, so Sacramento says, dump confirming the identity of age player Ellie / creepy hoarder might help with the timeline because he sent those messages in August of 25. Said that the nudes were sent 2.5 years prior. Katie will dump a little bit. She's collecting regarding her trip to see Tom and the injury sustained by him. She documented a lot more than me. So this is the first screenshot here. Okay. Our first screenshot here is who was Ellie or whatever. And then Tom says, what specifically are you talking about? And she says, LOL. He says, when you ask me questions like this, it's extremely annoying to me that you have to explain like one, I saw this thing with this person with you. 2, who are they? Instead of this vague way of asking things. Being vague drives me up a wall. You can ask me a question, just be forthcoming. And she said, I did ask too. And he says, you didn't tell me why you were asking or why it came up. You just said something out of the deep blue sea. And she says, I have a sixth sense. And he says, well, I'm not going to answer the question unless you explain yourself. So that's kind of crazy. Was it this person that you were talking to? Please reveal your inner mind state before I answer the question. That's kind of fucking crazy, but all right, whatever. And then she says, I saw her texting you a while ago. He says, she's the girl whose photos were leaked with mine, so that's what we were talking about. She says, oh, interesting, I get it. He says, if I could never speak to her again, I would. I don't hate her or anything, but she's just some chick I don't really care much about at this point outside of this particular thing. I don't care either, I was just wondering, she says. Well, now that you've revealed you were being a peeper, I explained myself, and she says, I wasn't being a peeper at all. You were texting her like half the time that I was with you, God forbid. Bro, he was on the phone with another bitch that dresses up like a kid. Dude, he was literally texting another bitch, parentheses, lollygooner. That's crazy. Okay. And then, so Tom says, I mean, I guess they do, but they'll date men with small dicks. I don't think that anyone other than the OnlyFans girls will even care. She says, hashtag not me. He says, well, you're in a different camp, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, IDK. She says, I pray these people don't leak it. And Tom says, I think they did already leak all the DMs, and my dick is in there. So I'm expecting it to happen soon. She says, you sent dick in DMs. This is like 9/11 with the sad rose petal emoji. And then he says, I did in Instagram DMs. This was like 2.5 years ago. I don't do this anymore. And then she's memeing on him. Based, okay. Never goon. Never goon, guys. Never goon. And then the Saltning says, I'm going out on a limb here and assume that his phone was an off-limits item. Did you have his password? Did you keep it away from you? And then she says, yes, I didn't have the password and never tried to pick it up because I knew that he would crash out. That's another prolific red flag in relationships, you guys, is like, if your ex, like, freaks the fuck out, or if your partner, like, freaks the fuck out if you grab their phone. Like, it's also a red flag to meticulously go through your partner's phone, okay? Ambiguity and gray area for my autistic girlies in chat. But, like, your partner should be able to, like, it should not, like, freak you out for your partner to, like, hey, can you, like, open my messages and, like, text my mom back? Or, like, hey, can you answer this email for me? Or whatever. You shouldn't be, like, scared of what's in your phone that your partner's gonna, like, fucking, like, seppuku if they see what's on your phone. And then also, it's weird if you're like, open your messages, let me read them now! Like, both ends of the spectrum are weird, right? Nuance! Who is she, okay? Alright. Next, I have Sacramento saying, a dump confirming... Oh, I actually already read these. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, that's all DZ sent to me. That is all DZ sent to me. That's all I have as of right now. The hot gossip currently is that Nicholas DeOrio hasn't covered this. Nicholas DeOrio is, a big Tom sweeper. And that there isn't really, like, a lot of coverage of this, surprisingly, right? And it's probably because Turkey Tom is really tight with a lot of commentary. So there's kind of, like, a weird thing going on. Like, Nicholas DeOrio was in the middle of streaming when all this dropped. And then he was like, I don't know all the information, I'm not going to stream about it, da-da-da. But if he was streaming, and in the middle of his stream, there was, like, a leak that Hassan was, like, a giga rapist, night raper, or whatever, he would stop what he was doing immediately to cover it. So there's allegations of sweepies. And then I know that Chud Logic earlier had said that he has, like, his Turkey Tom video is one of the highest performing videos that he has had lately because no one else is covering this, which I find quite peculiar. And then this is a clip from Nick's stream earlier. Let's take a listen to this. Hang on. Let's take a listen to this really quick. I would like to listen.
After an hour and a half, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be getting...
Hang on, we're going to listen to a little bit of this, because we're doing a little bit of sleepies. A little bit of sweepies.
What is this? How long? After an hour and a half, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be getting into probably one of the most depressing segments that I'll ever have to do on this platform, because unlike people like Bo Blacks, I actually like Turkey Tom, and he's currently under fire. This is not going to be fun for me. I'm going to give you a full disclaimer right off the bat. I've seen a lot of discussion online as to how am I supposed to cover this? I need to cover this right now. The funny thing I saw today is that apparently...
Slimy Weasley, fuck.
I'm going to just kill this for a second while I'm explaining this, and then we'll do it for a second. Apparently, if I waited just a little bit longer, a full video would have come out that we could have just gone through, but now I have to do more work. So I've seen a lot of discussion online as like, when is the correct time to cover this? Apparently, that was 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. Oh, Thursday morning? It was 8 a.m. on Thursday morning. That was the... If you got in past 8 a.m. on Thursday morning after the stuff dropped on Wednesday night, you were a sweeper. So we're already getting the brooms out. We're sweeping hard. If you didn't get in the first, like, 15 hours, you swept like crazy. It's Jover. But, in all seriousness, just giving you my...
Well, it's just that it's like breaking news, and given, you know, any other situation, like we would be covering the breaking news, right? Like we would absolutely be covering the breaking news if it was anybody else, right? That's the concern, right? That's the concern.
My honest take here, I'm like crazy fucking compromised on this topic. I have absolutely no problem saying it. I'm incredibly fucking biased. I do not want my friend to come out of this looking like a domestic abusing, lolicon, fucking pedophile rapist, okay? So I'm just putting this out there immediately. If you're looking for more, fucking...
Okay, fine. All right, fine. That's a fair take. That's a fair take. Fine. All right. I agree. I guess that's fine. I guess that's fine. Like, yeah, like this person is like my friend. I don't want them to be a giga rapist. So it's hard for me to cover this because I don't want to think this of my friend. Okay, fine. 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 You win with your gay stuff. All right. Fine, dude. Fine, dude. Also, you guys weren't lying. This chair is $1,800. It's like 2,000 US dollars for a fucking chair. This chair better like fucking give me a massage as well. This chair better scratch my back. Okay? This chair better scratch my fucking back. This chair better serve me caviar while I'm sitting in it. Jesus fucking Christ. That's crazy. For a chair? I hate rich people, bro. Okay. So, our allegations. On count 1, a dirty gooner. We find Turkey Tom guilty. Count 1, guilty. Count 2, sexually aggressive and violent. Guilty. Punching holes in the walls, kicking holes in the walls, calling your mom the N-word, choking, slapping, hitting women for some reason. Okay. Bad at sex, mega guilty. Going in dry. From morale, quote, no pussy rubbing. Okay, there was no pussy rubbing. Bad at sex. Fucking girls until they bleed, and somehow thinking that's normal and awesome and cool. Hitting, choking, slapping. Not being able to nut. Even though allegedly these girls are like super hot, he's unable to nut without watching homemade amateur porn on his phone while fucking. That's crazy. Into age play, I think this is like speculative, I guess. But I'm gonna say like due to the fact. So this is how I'm going to determine this. Okay, he somehow got his dick pics leaked because he was gooning with somebody on Instagram. If you're gooning with someone or to someone's content, I assume that it is a fair understanding that you like that content. You're not gooning to content that you don't like, right? You're not like, oh, I guess. You're like, oh, hell yeah, brother. This is definitely what I want to be gooning to. And the content was lolicon pedo bait. So obviously he is into the lolicon pedo bait, like age play shit, right? If that is the content that he's gooning to. And it is confirmed that he was gooning to it because he sent pictures of his wiener. So obviously he was gooning. Okay, so I'm going to, on count 5, guilty. Guilty, okay? Count 5, we are guilty. Physically abusive, I mean, I feel like this one kind of folds into count 2, so we're actually just going to reduce these into 1 count. These are reduced into 1 count, okay? Because he is aggressive. He is aggressive, okay? He is aggressive. And then let me number these correctly to be reflective of the true nature of things, okay? The true nature of things, okay? All right, here we go. So, recording sexual encounters without consent, I'm going to say kind of guilty. Because we have multiple women saying that this occurred. I didn't see any logs or screenshots of, like, any confirmation, like, saying that he did have, like, obviously I'm not expecting these girls to have access to these videos, but, like, any evidence that this was discussed, any evidence that other people have, like, seen them, any evidence that, you know, I guess we can say, like, kind of guilty because there was the girl on Instagram that said, yeah, he did this to me too. We have, like, at least 3 witnesses, at least 3 victims. Right, at least 3 victims, and I think it would be kind of a stretch to say that all 3 of these women are lying. It's possible all 3 of them could be lying. It's very possible, of course. Okay, but I would say kind of guilty. Contingent on more evidence. Okay, contingent on more evidence. Okay, flies out e-girls for sexy times. Count 7, guilty. Okay, no, I don't want screen recordings of the unconsensual sex recordings. No, just like a discussion about it. You know. Talking about it, like something to corroborate that, right? Yeah. Tischler Chaser, count 8, not guilty. Yeah, we have no evidence of this as of now, not guilty as of now. Okay, and then CNC night rape fetish, guilty. So for 8 out of 9 counts, we have determined guilt. We believe women. I love women. I support women. I love all women. I can name every woman. I have binders full of women, okay? It seems that Turkey Tom is guilty. And we will see how this plays out for him. We will see if he responds. And we will have to keep an ongoing pulse on the drama, of course, because it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And I don't think that this looks good. I mean, unless he has evidence. You know, he could have evidence, because we do have to remember, of course, that the girls have, like, their testimony. Tom could have evidence. He could have screenshots of conversations or something like that where they, like, admit that this never happened or something. But either way, you know, we'll have to see. It's an ongoing situation. We'll continue to monitor for updates. This has been another rape review. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy, isn't it? Crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I cannot believe that Turkey Tom did this to save Aiden. It's very convenient timing, isn't it? It's very convenient timing. Like, just when Aiden thought it was over, just when Aiden thought there was no redemption, there was no hope, he was ready to give in and drown at sea. Just as he took his last breath before going under for the last time, Turkey Tom came out of the woodwork to save Aiden. The night rape that saved Aiden. Crazy.